All right. Today we have about 35 minutes for each presentation, and then we'll have a transition time, and then the introduction of the next person. And so I'm going to get started. Today we're talking about the reading road, where phonics fits. Thank you, Scotty, for the shout out. All right, it fits. Yeah. When we think about phonics as a subject or something that we teach in our classrooms, a lot of times we think of it in isolation. We'll say, oh, I'm going to teach a apple, right? And then maybe the kids will get the initial sound and then they can figure out the rest at the very basic level, or even just teaching the alphabet and the basic 23 sounds that are in just the alphabet. But there's another level to phonics, of course, as well. And then there's some more goals on top of that. So today I would like to talk mainly about phonics, but also stress where it kind of fits within the cycle. Like as we're learning, why is it important, and where do we put it in the teaching or the learning cycle? So I have a simple little graph here. As you think, we are in an EFL environment, which is very different from kids learning back home, because kids back home, before they start to learn how to read, they have already had a lot of input, 4, 5, 6 years in some cases, right? And so they're already able to hear the sounds, separate the sounds, they're able to speak the language. Many of our students don't. And so we have to develop at least some base, right, prior to introducing phonics instruction. Otherwise, there's too many things for them to learn at once. And so the first step really is delivering input. We can do that through songs. We can do that through speaking clearly with their students. We can do it through games or card games or whatever. But that's a really important component prior to even starting teaching phonics, that sometimes it's easy to forget. Next is vocab. They got to know some words. So when they read the sounds on the stage, they're like, cat, what's that? I mean, it could be ugajababa, right? If they don't know what it means, if they don't have a connection with the meaning of the word, then there's no point in teaching phonics. Next is phonemic awareness, and I'm not going to talk too much about that, but basically that's the ability of someone to hear a word and either separate the sounds or blend the sounds together. So if I say to the word for you, purple, what are the sounds in purple? Oh. So we have to be able to hear those sounds. So we read them on the page, oh, and then be able to blend those together. Or if I give you the word, I say, what's purple? So what's the first sound? The kids go, what's second? Good. So beginning sound, ending sound, and then the medial sounds. Go, oh, hi, we got those here. Right. Next is phonics. So in this reading road, this is where it kind of fits. If we do these 3 things first, then phonics is going to be a much easier task for our students. And finally, fluency. Once we get this base, we don't want them reading like this, right? So developing fluency, and once they develop reasonable level of fluency, they can read to learn, or read for information, or read for understanding. And that is, at the end of the day, our goal. So we're going to focus here on phonics. What, when, why, and how. And because of the time, I have a little built-in joke here. Or not a joke, but remember that letter. It's going to be valuable later. Okay. All right. So talking about phonics, we're going to start with the what, why, when, and then the how of teaching phonics. Remember that one too. Okay. So first of all, what is what do we have to understand before starting to teach phonics? First are sounds and letters of the English language, the alphabetic code. Does anyone know what? We'll cover that in a second, anyways. All right. So what is this right here? The alphabet. All right. So we are EFL teachers. So Yeah. Like, what is that thing called? So for our students, one thing that's really unique, if you think about it, our students are learning Japanese, so they learn to write in boxes. So the concept of lines is not something they're familiar with when they start. And so the English language has some interesting, especially lowercase letters. You're going to have your medial ones, your tall ones, and your low ones. And so that concept is a difficult concept for the kids, right? Remember that one. It is get a little annoying. I apologize. I turned down the sound just a little bit though. All right. Oh, I think I'm missing a slide here. Oops. Okay. Once we get the idea of that the English language as the alphabetic code is, so you have there's a connection between the sounds of the language and the letters on the page, where Japanese doesn't have that. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So, all right. Once they get that basic concept, then we start understanding, okay, this is a certain sound, this is a certain sound, and this represents a certain sound. We can put those together and come up with cat. Is that actually a cat sound? It sounds like a dog whimper or something like that. All right, so once we get this concept, we can start blending with the kids. And this is a slightly more advanced one. Can you say the sounds with me? What's the first sound? Second? Oi. Next? Oh, next. Next. Good. And put it together, it's. Oh, what's that? I am having so much fun with the sounds. Yeah. Sorry for the people at home. I hope you have your volume turned down. All right. And the whole point is, if we understand as teachers that Japanese and English are different languages, we understand the challenges they're going to have with the alphabet. We understand that letters and sounds are connected in the English language, but aren't connected in the Japanese language, and are able to introduce phonics to our students, then they end up connecting things to the meaning, and that's when it starts to become enjoyable. All right. So next is a why. Why do we teach phonics? Well, it's motivational because when kids start to be able to read, they're like, wow, I have a skill, I can do something. And they feel like they're moving. And that's very motivational for students. So we see this cat example, and it comes together, and they say, okay, I can see a picture of a cat in my head. This is good. They have the vocab down. They understand the sounds. They can look at the letters in the page. They can say the sounds, and they can identify it with something meaningful. Then you go to kind of the next level, where you can say it's a big cat, right? And then they can say, oh, I can imagine big cat, a lion maybe? I don't know. But the point is, we're getting kids as they're putting these things together, and they're big. Oh, God, I know that. Cat. And then they start to get that fluency going, and they're big. They can see a big cat in their head. And that's very motivating. And that's when it starts to become enjoyable for the students. Next thing is, it's very good for pronunciation. If we look at this word, green, what are the four sounds in the word green? Good. E. But what do our students hear? Gu, li, And so phonics also helps them identify the sound system and basically develop the English sound system in their head. So when they look at the letters, they're not hearing gu. They're seeing g in isolation, right? And so we're trying to move from here up to here. Another example, which I gave at the beginning, was purple. Well, how do they hear purple in the beginning? Everyone all together? Right? And that's what they hear. And so we're developing the sound system in them, and it's giving them confidence, and it's motivating because they realize, oh, okay, well, in Japanese, it's, paparu. But in English, it's purple. And as long as they feel, oh, okay, when I'm speaking English, I'll use the English sounds. When I'm speaking Japanese, I'll use the Japanese sounds. So it's not you're saying Japanese is bad. Paparu is not bad. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with orange, because that's when you're speaking Japanese, that's normal. But we're trying to develop that, and phonics can be very helpful for doing that. Anybody have an idea what the word might be? Don't say it, just think it. All right, and again, once we get this phonics space down and they start developing these abilities and they're developing some fluency, then they start to read for meaning and information. And that's when it becomes fun. So we've got our big cat here, and then we can change one word and it becomes, yeah, not that heavy. And then you can start to develop sentences, and they can pull these structures from games, they can pull these structures from textbooks, they can pull these structures from songs. So you can see the big pig is on a red balloon, the big cat is on a red balloon, the big cat is on a pink balloon. And so you just start changing out single words and creating new sentences, and that's very motivating for the kids. This is a sentence from one of the readers in the TRW series, by the way. All right. So all of this again comes right back, meaning if they are developing the concept to read for meaning and information, again, it's enjoyable and it's fun. So that's one of the main reasons that we do. Okay. All right. So when do we start teaching phonics? That's the question. Do we start teaching when they're 2? 3? It's not really an age. Okay, and there's a difference between introducing phonics and play and stuff, and that's totally fine. Or if it's a part of giving the input to the kids, right, that's fine as well. But phonics doesn't necessarily mean writing either. That's a separate skill. Sometimes they're taught at the same time, sometimes they're not. When I made the TRW or the Think Read Write 1 book, my idea was, okay, how can I, because I want them to write. I figured the book was for first grade, was when I first or second grade for starters. So I do a lot of songs, play a lot of games, role plays, acting out things for input when the kids are really little. They pick up a lot of vocabulary, either in the classroom or through the YouTube videos that they watch at home. They develop phonemic awareness through a lot of the games. I might hold up a picture of a cat and say, "Gat." And they're like, they know it's a cat. I'm like, no, they say cat. No, gat. No, cat. No, gat. And they're like, no. Cat. Okay, gotcha. And that's when you know they're hearing that individual sound. And so we've done all of this, and then we get to actually teaching the letter sound connection, which is phonics. So my frustration when I was starting out, and the first book was Think Read Write 1. It was published in 2013. So almost 10 years ago. And so we just started with one book, and the idea was to try as much as possible to have all of these things included in the series somehow. So if you have a student who's coming to you, who's 5 or 6 years old, and they have very little English experience, how could I provide input for them? How could I build a vocabulary base with them? How could I help them develop phonemic awareness? And how could I teach them phonics with the goal of helping them develop at least some level of fluency so that it's fun? And that's why the readers are here and the activity books are here and everything that's kind of developed over time. But okay, so within the series, I just want to introduce how many people use TRW in your schools? Okay, how many people have used it in the past? Okay, all right. So this is kind of what's in the book. So if you haven't seen it, this will at least introduce kind of some of the concepts. The first thing I like to do is anchor a sound to a word. So like if the kids don't know the individual sounds in the English language, they need to be able to hear that sound clearly in isolation. And so if you give them one word that they can connect to that sound. So if I say, what's the first word you think of? Apple. And that's pretty common. So that was our first word too. If I say, what's the first word you think of? Ball, bear, of course, right? Yeah. And everyone has a different one, but you have to pick one. And so we created something called an anchor chant. And the anchor chant in Think Read Write is a little bit unique because each anchor word has a pair. So we have apple and watermelon, which is a category of fruit. We have boy and girl, boy, girl. We have up and down. So each thing has a pair. So when they learn the vocabulary words, they're not learning 26 individual random words. They're learning 13 pairs. And so that opens the door for a lot of boy and yeah. So you can do a lot of things with that. Okay, so I'm just going to play the chant just a little bit.
Apple. Apple. B boy. B boy. C car. C car. D down. D down. Elephant. Elephant. F five.
And what I like to do with this one, there's gestures for all of this, right? So 5 or elephant, whatever. So if you add a gesture to that, then it makes it's a little TPR you're putting in there as well. They remember the gesture, they remember the vocab, and they remember the isolated sound. So you're getting that base built. So all the sounds, I like to do this pretty much every lesson for the first 3 months, right? And if you do that, they're going to remember the sounds, they're going to remember the core vocabulary, and they're going to have that vocabulary base, the sound base, and they're going to be having fun in class and they're moving. All right, the next thing I wanted to do was build vocabulary. And so we started the book with this kind of game board looking thing. And so all the vocab that's going to be in the unit is in, there's 6 units. For all the books, there's 6 units, there's 4 levels. And so we introduced the vocab first. So just saying the word very clearly with gestures if you can. You want to do gestures? Anybody feel like it? I know you can do it. All right,
Unit 1. Here we go. Apple. Apple. Ant. Cat. Bag. Here we go. Elephant.
If you're using this or playing this off of YouTube, which I recommend for one reason, you can increase the speed. And so if they've done it 2 or 3 times and you're like, okay, they're going to be shouting really soon. Okay. And it's a lot of and they're trying to do gestures at the same time. So, all right. Oh, sorry. Go back. I'll go back. I'll do it here. Just a second. The next thing I want to do is connect the sounds, the target sounds, to the letters themselves. And so the first unit is all vowels. And so this is the first chant. Just very simply here. Oops. Starting by identifying the sound.
Big A, little a. Big A, little a. Big A, little a.
Once they get that sound down, then we introduce, there we go. So this is the second one where we say the sound along with the vocabulary one. Here we go.
Apple. Ant. Cat. Bag. Apple. Ant.
One thing about the series that's a little bit different from some other options out there is that we put the letters in the middle, and later with the consonant sounds, we put them in the middle or the end. And that helps them identify that phoneme, that individual sound, different places in the word. So when they get to spelling later, if they hear cat, they can hear the ending sound, they can hear the medial sound, and they can hear the beginning sound. And so I'm trying to develop the ability to hear all these sounds anywhere they are in the word from the very beginning, so that it's not all initial sounds. Only the yellow book, which is the beginning book, has it in the first position. From the second book on, they're in different positions where it's possible. Okay. And once we do that, we put it all together.
Ready? Let's read. Apple. Ant. Cat. One more time. Apple. Ant. Cat. Good. Ready? Let's read. Apple.
All right, so once we've kind of built this basic, they understand the anchor words and the sounds have a connection. We build some vocabulary, we start connecting the sounds to the letters, and then they start developing the ability to read. So after Unit 1 and Unit 2, vowels, and then B, P, C, K, G, or the next consonants, we have a readers series, which uses those 10 letters only in the first 2 stories. So the students can immediately apply this new skill and they can actually start reading for meaning. And so we have, this is story number 2. All of this is on YouTube for free. And okay. Very simple.
Story 2. A pig is up.
And this, we do a lot of acting in the class.
A big pig.
Big.
An egg. An egg is up. Pick a cup. A cup is up.
So you act out the thing.
Pick a backpack. A backpack is up. Up, up, up. A pig is up.
Okay. So I think we're getting, I'm going a little faster than I thought. Well, that's good though. We love more of a break. All right, so in this series, I'll just kind of point things out. Hopefully the people at home can see okay. The core of the series is think, read, write. So there's a starter, 1, 2, and a semi-newly released number 3. This would be for like your Nencho aged kids or first graders, and then going up 1 grade level. And this is actually good. Think, read, write 3 is being used by a lot of upper elementary now. Actually, quite a few schools, like private elementary schools, are using it in the 5th and 6th grades. I don't have any examples of the content here, but I have a table over there and my iPhone. I can show you some of that. Much faster, much more challenging, a lot of word blending, a lot more patterns, a little grammar introduced. But all of it is contextualized. So all of the words go into comics in book 2 and 3. Everything goes into the readers. And so they're never just learning a vocab word or a grammar rule. It's always in context, and it's a little goofy. Would you say goofy is the right word, Simone? Yeah. And a lot of the vocab is words that kids want to know. So, I mean, I'm a bit of a child myself, so I put in burp and fart, right? Because why not, right? And the kids, when they realize their textbook is teaching them that cool, we're like, really? I get to learn this? And yeah, and they often like to run around the room going fart, 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 fart. All of the vocabulary in here, which is about 500 words, is in these 2 readers. And so there's 22 stories in total. These are great for acting things out in class. A lot of people do, Lawrence, who's with us today, and some other people do like what's it called? A Mad Lib, where they'll change out certain words and then act things out. You can turn them into dialogues. There's a lot of stuff in the Think, Read, Write user group on Facebook. A lot of people have done some cool stuff with that. The activity books are new also, and those are basically a collection of puzzles and activities that have been created by different teachers over the years. Mainly Jared Wangan, who lives, that's how you say his name? Jared Wangan, yeah. Who did a fantastic job with the first book, and then ABC David's a guy by the name of TJ over there worked and made worksheets for the second one. They're really effective and really handy to have. And if you want to check them out, they're on the table over there. And we also have a series of notebooks that I don't have here with me right now, but they're same color code, and the lines get gradually smaller as you go on. So the kids get excited about getting, oh, I got the blue one, and the green one was just released last year. So, okay. So did everyone figure out what the word was? Atrigoa. What is it? Arigato. Thank you very much, everyone. All right.
All right, shall we begin? All right, great. So what color is this? Make a sentence.
Orange, you have
Good, let's all say it's orange. What color is this? Yay, okay, great. So please catch one of these planes. I hope they fly. Okay. Did you pick up the planes? Okay, so who has the blue plane? Hey! So just to tell you, there is a prize today. So the person with the blue plane gets a free lunch. Woo! Who has the orange plane? Orange plane. Oh, hey! Orange plane gets to buy lunch. Yay! Yay! Hey! What? I don't know. Leave it to Kenny to turn that thing around, huh? Well done. Well, I hope you enjoy your lunch date. Awesome. Okay, so lots to cover. Gonna move pretty fast. Okay, so, oops. Yay! That was the opening special thing. Yay! Okay, but I do have. Who does anyone else have an elastic on their hand? No. Does anyone ever have elastics on their hands after they finish teaching when they go home? Yeah, rubber band. No? No, must be just me. Okay. I'm always like we wrap our flashcards in rubber bands, keep them in sets, right? So I'm always going home and I'm like, hey, anyways, so awesome. So that was the opening special thing. So how do kindergarten children play? Okay, so some might play like this. some might, but generally they play like this. So they're playing in their imaginary world, okay? And so when I started teaching in Japan, I was at a Japanese-owned school, and they had me doing like Let's Go with kindergarten kids, and they wanted me to strictly follow the book and do it just like those pages. So I found it wasn't quite like I wanted this. I wanted imaginative play in an EFL environment. And so as you can imagine, that's pretty hard. And why it's very hard is because as soon as you start to play in the imaginative world, they want to tell you about what they're thinking, right? Okay, but they always switch to Japanese to do it. So I worked really hard to try to figure out how to get Japanese kids to play in English. And so what did we do first? Now, I say we so that my company sounds bigger than it is. In fact, it's a me. So what did me do first? So first thing was to take a look at the most frequently used words by native speaking children. Then I took that list. So you'll see some of the stories. If you've seen some of the stories, those stories aren't made from me thinking those are going to be funny stories. I'm going to write it. It's me taking these lists, reverse engineering them to make the stories so that all of the most frequently used words by native speaking children are in the stories, so that there's exposure. So then we made 2 series over time, Magic House and Magic Pad. And yeah, so these are the original steps kind of that we had in place to help people to read, to help people get their kids to play in English. Okay, so first we would read the story. I'll just do it quickly. This is Jimmy. This is Jimmy's house. This is Jimmy in his room and his mom. Mom says, open your window. It's a sunny day. He climbs on his bed to open the window, looks outside. He sees a lot of bugs. He's scared. He runs away. Ah! So the key to getting smaller children to be able to use more challenging grammar. So like past tense, for example, if I said to somebody who doesn't teach with stories, teach past tense to kindergarten children, they would be like, "Oh, you're crazy, man," right? But with the power of the context of the story, the children, if they understand what's going on, they can use more challenging grammar because they want to say what they want to say in those situations. Okay, so we read the story to provide the context. Now, even if I was saying buju buju bujo, abadi budu budu, abon bodo, edibo, and then otabala, and then yeah. So even if I was doing that, then I wish I so Adam is so cool. I'll do my make Adam cry thing later. But he's so cool when he does his training because he flips it. Like I'm just doing buja buja buja, but he's like he just comes in, he's like, okay, so aujourd'hui nous parlons en français, and he'll like start speaking French and he'll do the training in French. And then my staff, one of them was from Tunisia, so she speaks French, and he says, oh damn, you speak French? Okay, we'll do it in Spanish. And he switched to Spanish. I'm like, what the heck? I just have buja buja. Yeah. So you would take the story, you'd take we all know TPR is great for kids because it's lots of movement. It's very clear. Stand up, sit down, stand up, touch your head, touch blue, touch green. That's great. We wanted to take TPR to the next level. So we used story TPR. So we took the story that you just saw and we put it into a narrative. So go to the bedroom, sleep, wake up, climb on the bed, open the window, look outside, there's a spider, run away. So we would do that with our kids together, okay? And so then the kids, they would be able to say those stories after about 4 to 5 weeks. So sometimes they could say the stories, but they weren't necessarily understanding what they were saying. So we started adding some ridiculous suggestions. So we would say, I'm sleepy. Oh, I'm going to go to the kitchen. Right? And then our kids would be like, no, go to the bedroom. So we could start to check. Let's open the potato. Open the window. Okay, bump. And so we used story TPR. Okay. And kids were very, very happy to do that. So then we would practice a set of vocabulary. And before I forget, I'll just add this now. The great thing about us as small publishers or whatever is that a lot of our stuff works really well together. So I'm not the song guy, and I'm going to show you why today. You're going to see some of my songs. You'll agree with me. So if one of my songs is like grinding your ears, then just pop in Kenny's song, pop in Eric's song. The thing I love about Kenny's songs is that he does great vocabulary songs. So like if we're doing bugs, it's the butterfly, butterfly, ladybug, spider, spider, ant. Did I get it? Yeah, excellent. So you can mix in other people's materials, phonics. His books work with other things. So that's the real great thing about of all of us working together is that our stuff is can be put together. And so that's wonderful. Just wanted to say that. Okay. So practicing the words, using vocabulary songs if you have them, or some kind of a musical flashcards, like talking flashcards, is a great way to do that. I'm just sort of rhythmical myself, as I'm always sort of using rhythm in my when I'm teaching anyways. So I sometimes don't use music, but I'll just go like, okay, let's all say snail, caterpillar, cricket, fly, mosquito. Okay, so like that. But you can use rhythm and music, and your stuff is great for that. You build the rhythm into the thing. And as I'm experiencing now with my new teacher, some people have no rhythm. So hope he's not watching. Didn't send the link. So yeah, so sing a song. So what you want to do is have songs that have the language that you want to use in them. So I have one song here is this one here. I'll just sing it right now. It's like there's a spider in my hair, and I do not like him there. So that's this song that we use to teach like there's a spider. Oh no, there's a spider. Yep. So you want to have a song that has the grammar, and then you want to play a game. Play a game. Okay. So some of the games, a lot of the games that are out there that you can find on the internet, like EFL games, flashcard games. A lot of those games are focused on just the learning the words, right? So you may have a game like this where you put the cards on the floor, mosquito, bam, everybody touches, or you put them all around the classroom. Where is the snail? And then they go touch the snail. So they're learning just the words. If you spend 3 weeks learning just the words, what are you going to do? In that last week? Okay, now let's learn how to speak. Oh, yeah, not a lot of time there. So what I like to do is I like to build games that have the language in them. And so we could just do a quick one now. Bing, bing, bing. Okay, so everybody, let's all stand up. Oh, sorry, sit down. Too slow. I'm gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody stand up. Go 5, 4, 3, 2. Nice, good job. Okay, so everybody, let's all say, are you a mosquito? So let's all say, bum, 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 bum. Good. Are you a mosquito? No, I'm a fly. Phew, phew. Okay, bum, 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 bum. No, I'm a cricket. Phew, bum, bum, bum. No, I'm a caterpillar. Phew, bum, bum, bum. Yes. Now let's say, go away. Bum, 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 bum. Ah, good. Nice. Okay, good. So please sit down. So guys, I just realized I forgot to tell you something. I'm actually not sick. Just pretending. I know. I want sympathy. I want sympathy. No, I have an allergy or asthma. Doctor's not sure which, so I'm coughing today, but I'm not sick at all. So I'm gonna take this mask off and show you my face. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. Just yeah. You can have me put it back on if you prefer. So that's one. So things that I'm doing in that game. So I'm using a very common, useful question. So are you something something? Are you something something? So they're getting very used to that. I'm associating the grammar with a gesture, right? So I'm saying, are you a something? So I've taught you the gesture using rhythm. Bum 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 bum. Right? So I'm getting you into using the gesture with rhythm. And so by associating the grammar with a gesture, I can now elicit the language without giving that it's so embarrassing, like the are you? Oh, it's so embarrassing. So by associating the language, the grammar with a gesture, you can elicit without having to give verbal cues there. So that's one thing we do. Yeah. So we also have another game. I'm going to skip it, but basically we want to build games that are repetitive but move forward. So in this case, we have a mosquito. Students don't know when he's coming, but they do know when he does come, he's going to sort of chase after them, right? So there's a tension that's building, and so it's not just repeating for repetition's sake. It's following some kind of narrative where we're trying to like find this bug and then maybe catch him. Okay. Super. And so then we can include some crafts where we have a craft where we cut these out on a slightly thick paper. We tape them to a clothespin on one side, and then kids, of course, they color them first, right? And so then they can talk about their spiders. My spider is, oops, sorry, people at home. So my spider is blue. How about you? My spider is yellow. My spider is green. My spider is yellow, blue, green, red. Put down the ground. So they attach it to this, and then they can put it on their shoulder, right? And so me as a teacher, So I can have this on my shoulder at some point in the lesson. I can just go bum bum and then just start teaching. Okay, so let's see these cookies there, and then kids are like, right? And so this is a great chance for them to want to say something. And then at that point, we could give them the language they want to say, so it's clear what they're saying. So they would say like, oh, spider, spider, spider. Okay, great. So let's all say, there's a spider, right? And so we use the song to help them to know, you know this, you've sang this, you can sing this. So when you're trying to point at the spider, remember the song and bring that memory back. Okay, and so there we go. So these are some crafts that also incorporate some useful language. And so we also have a craft like this, which we call quick reading crafts. So they're very quick, easy to do, but they act as like realia. I'm not sure if that's the right term for that. They act as like a toy for them. And it's, if you've ever tried to teach possessives, this is my thing. Okay, guys, let's take out one of your things, right? And the kids are like, and then so they and they all start talking about all their things and then try to get those away, and then they're trading. And so if you create their own things on the spot, it's quick, it's easy, and it's useful. The language is specific to what you're doing. So this is a cup, right? So they would say, this is my cup, it's blue. This is my cup, it's green. And then they can actually take, I just have the blanket one here, but they can take the cup card and they can actually curl it and then make a cup. So they can say, hey, juice, please. Okay, here you are. Whoop, here you are, thank you. So they can have their own items without having to go through all the hassle of trying to take something out of their bag. It becomes their thing. Great. Super. So we also have some phonics that's built into it. Our course is designed to be secular so that any student can join at any time throughout the 3-year cycle of their nensho, nenchu, nencho. So our phonics is also light and secular, but if you want to put in like a solid linear phonics program, ta-da, 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 there's a lot of that going on in town. So there we go. So I just want to show a little bit of the kind of engagement that we can get with using imagination. So we have this guy here. His name is Jimmy. He's one of the characters, and he's so happy until till he sees the mosquito. So he gets scared, and he's trying to go to bed, right? And under his bed and under his pillow are some of those insects that are hiding. So I'm going to show you a scene where I've taken the insects and I've put them under the flashcards on the floor, and just watch the kind of engagement that comes along with kids being in the imaginative world. Yeah. Oops, sorry, that's not. Let me just get. Looks like it's. Oh, yep. Okay, so there he is.
And I just hate that room. I hate the living room here in this house. I don't like it. I did like it, but now I don't. And I spend no time there. I actually spend the majority of my time in the kitchen. But nobody gives a fuck about that. What's going on, Cowboy?
That was Adam's notes about my presentation.
Oh yeah, audio is great. Nice. I've been watching these
Siri's
fucking videos.
Reading them out.
OBS settings trying to make it so it's not.
I thought I'd like it, but I didn't like it. I can't believe that I gave all those kind words to him. This presentation sucks. Oh, Siri. AI is taking over. Okay. Right. Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
Yep. Do it again. So, bump. Watch out.
Watch out. Sit down, wait a minute. Oh, There's a spider. Wait. Sit down. Under the bed.
So am I done at 11:30?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll just go a little bit over. So there, so you see, the kids are really trying to say what they feel, right? So here's the TPR that I did earlier with go to the bedroom, sleep, wake up, boom. Yes. Should I go to the kitchen? Oh, to the bedroom? Okay, so everybody, let's go to the bedroom. Wait, is it a big bed or a small bed? Okay, so a big bed is 15. 15, okay? Yeah, so I say we use the climbing on the bed and different things when we're doing the TPR, we add little level ups to review basic vocabulary. So when we're climbing on the bed, we're reviewing numbers 1 to 15. When we're talking about the bed, we're reviewing some adjectives, big or small. If it's a skipping rope, is it long or short? If it's a drink, is it hot chocolate or cold milk? So we're always building in, me is always building in stuff like that. Cool. So that just kind of shows you the engagement. So what we did, we took, we made lesson plans as you do. And so then we got some feedback from the users and they were saying, lesson plans, great. Thanks so much. They're awesome. But sometimes it's hard to visualize what it looks like in a real lesson with Japanese children. So that was the first issue. And they were like, yeah, sorry, I forgot to do this guy. He's so funny, eh? That's Kenny's brother. Yeah. So then, why me, right? Why me? Yeah. You're so lovable, Kenny. That's why. So we did this. So we added video links. So every part of the lesson, you can click the link and watch that being done with an actual class of Japanese children. So then, because of that, some of our users were able to pick it up.
So he's going to bed again, okay?
This is Japanese.
Watch out. There's a spider. Where's the spider? Oh, okay, under the pillow. All right, I'll take it out, okay?
Amazing. Yeah. So we people who didn't naturally gravitate to using flashcard puppetry could watch how that happens and be better at mimicking it. So the next issue we had was teacher training. So trying to get people who own schools trying to get their teachers to do what they wanted. So we did this. We made a website. We didn't make the website. We used a training website, and so we have full sort of instructors, guides, and training processes. Not just that lesson, but the bigger overarching, like how to do certain things and why they're important. What are we working on now? Some people, they say we likes, but we no can do, right? So these are people who they see me do this. They're like, oh, I really want to do that, and I did try, but it's just I feel so not good, So there's like the non-Genki types, the shy types. So what we're trying to do now is make it more accessible to different teacher types. And so we are very analog, my school. We don't even have like a screen anywhere. We just got one of those Bluetooth speakers. Yep, high tech. So we're trying to add more things like that. So what we've been experimenting with is how those things can be used. So for classroom management, for example, so we've made some videos to try and help beginner teachers who are working at schools that use our curriculum. So watch this. This is me teaching. This is one of a video of me trying to see if classroom management works with an iPad. So I'm saying stand up. I even say sit nicely. Oh. And so they started to do that. So I was saying things like, so I said, okay, I'm gonna say sit down, and you saw the girls just go, they didn't even sit on their chair, and they said, no, sit down in your chair, because I kind of knew that they would probably do that. And so I built that in there. So then, so that was classroom management, and then this is just their reactions. So I'm making mistakes in the videos. No, it's a little. Yeah. So funny, right? So obviously, so what I'm not trying to do is replace teachers with videos. What I'm trying to do is help teachers who want to use Magic House to have support so that they can feel comfortable until they can take over if they want to. There are people who just want to play the video. That's fine too. So so they're there. So we made some videos that kids could be exposed to language at home. So this is one of the talking flashcards. It's just vocabulary to a rhythm. Bing, bing, bing. And then
Bus. Bus. It's a bus.
that thing. And then we made some cheap ass song videos. Right? So first, do this. Let's be a seal. Be a seal. That's kind of next, as a man, do this. Like,
do this. Let's be a fish. Be a fish. Next, do this.
And then the song is like having its, oh, that was it. Okay. So that's me. Oops, sorry. So then here's one of my teachers. I literally, like, not fair to him, but I just walked in and say, here you are, play this now, go. And so this is them with zero prep. You can see the kids' reactions to that.
Stand up.
In the video, I'm saying stand up as well.
First, do this. Let's be a seal.
Be a seal.
Be a seal. Up, do this. Do this.
In the song.
I want to be a seal. I want to be a seal. Swim, swim like a seal. Swim, swim like a seal. Oh no, there's a shark. Let's get out of here. Swim, swim like a seal. Swim, swim like.
Yeah, so that was that. So basically, like, we try to be, yeah, this is the yeah, exactly. So the songs, our songs, you can use any other people's songs as well, if you can find it. But what our songs have is they have the specific language that's quite rare, because it's like it's needed for those things in the stories. It's not rare, it's high frequency language, but nobody writes a song about it. So what we do is we have the broken down version. So I want to be a seal, correct English. Then the natural version, I want to be a seal. So they can hear both versions, and then they can, when we play a game, I can put down all my farm animals on the floor, and then I can think visually. I want to be a, I want to be a, I want to be a, I don't know. How about you? And then my kids, they'll say, oh, I want to be a seal. I want to be I want to be a pig. I want to be a chicken. And they can choose the animals they want to be. And we've done it in the song. So here's guys, now we're on the beach.
I love the
These are
beach.
things you could kind of
So,
play.
let's sing
with
a
the-
song
with the
about the
stories,
beach.
they're
Here
connected to
we
the story.
go.
Run, 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 run on the beach. Swim, 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 swim in the ocean. Lie, 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 lie on the sand. I love the beach.
Clap.
Okay, but useful when you're doing it. So these are just reaction videos.
I'm
Okay,
hungry.
but maybe-
I'm
try to go
hungry.
forward.
Should I go to the
Oh, yeah.
kitchen or go to the bedroom?
So this
Where
is the stuff
should
that's
I
really
go?
hard
What's that?
for beginner teachers is to do,
Oh,
like
let's
this
sing it again.
questioning
Go
what
to the
best language to use.
kitchen.
So the kids would be like, go to the kitchen. And I
Okay,
go to the
let's
kitchen and I
touch.
think it's another
Let's
horrible.
go to the kitchen.
Sorry.
The kitchen. Go to the kitchen.
Okay. And then last.
Use your
okay,
fake-
wait. They put me blah, 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 and I gotta finish. So anyways, there it is. I gotta finish. So basically, in order to help get your students to be able to speak more naturally, we're continuing to make different tools that help different types of teachers. So if you've had, if you're like, oh, I really want to try Magic House, but I'm just having trouble getting the kids to react in certain ways, then now's your chance to give it a try. So if you want to be on the experimental list for the first kind of schools to use that kind of stuff, then please let us know. This is just another sample. So we have a cookie song which like, do you want the cookie? Do you want the cookie? Do you want the cookie? Yes, please. So then we play this game and the kids can talk to each other in two teams, right? So this team would ask the other team, do you want the cookie? Yes, please. Which one do you want? So this team here, this side here, which one do you want? The purple cookie or the pink cookie? 5, 4. Purple cookie. Okay, so let's choose the purple cookie. Oh, it's an ant cookie. Oh, let's try again. Ant. So these are like phonics incorporated games. Okay, so what kind of cookie do you want?
Purple cookie.
Purple cookie. All right. No, it's a salmon, man. Okay, it's well. Anyways, yeah. So basically, we can just use these kind of games, sing the song, play the game, and then start to work into scenes where the kids they're actually using a lot more language. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone. My name is Timothy. I am the creator of Ready, Set, Ego. And today I would like to talk to you about the card game, but also too, this presentation is actually going to be one of my most unique presentations that I've done thus far. And I haven't done very many presentations, so it's not actually that amazing. But in this presentation, I would like to present about the card game, focusing on how it helps influence communication in the classroom. First, I would like to say thank you to everybody who plays my game and everybody who has helped spread the word about my game. Many people in this room have been very, very key in helping my game become popular. Kane is one of them. When I first made the game, I had no idea where it would go. And so because of people like you who have shared it, I'm eternally grateful. And so if you do get a chance to play my game, I hope you enjoy it. And without further ado, let's begin. So in this presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about my background, how Ready, Set, Ego became a game, because I think the story is important. And then we'll share about how to play the game and different ways to play the game, and then going beyond the rule book, because a good game is not just, one way, one-dimensional. A good game has many different ways to play it. And then hands-on playthrough. The hands-on playthrough is going to take place at the table over here, not during the presentation time. So, but if you do want to play the game, I'm always welcome. You're always welcome to go to the table anytime. So this is a really short introduction about me. I live in Himeji. By the way, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give a quiz. And if you answer the questions correctly, I'm the first one to do this, which is surprising. I have giveaways today. I apologize to those online. I can't throw digitally to you, but I have my level 2 version, and then I also have a T-shirt. Yeah, this is actually a really nice T-shirt, if I do say so myself. I handpicked the measurements myself. My body is pretty big, so maybe the T-shirt's pretty big too. So I apologize if it's too big. So I have a large size and an extra large size, but I'm only giving away one, so good luck. Anyway, this is my daughter Sophia. She is 1 year and 5 months old. My wife and I run a small English school in Himeji, and here's a question that might possibly be on the quiz at the end. I'm going to teach you a fact about Himeji that has nothing to do with the castle. So Himeji is famous for many things, but did you know at 7-Eleven or at Aeon, Max Value, there's the coin counting machine? Those are made in a factory in Himeji called Glory Limited, so you're welcome. Anyway, fun fact for you guys to remember for later. All right, what is Ready Set Ego? All right, Ready Set Ego is a card game. It has cards. It's a game. Very simple in the sense that the cards, there's 2 types of cards. There's pictures, and then there's description cards on the top. The cards on the bottom here, picture cards, are actually double-sided. And the card size is actually wider than a standard poker size card. And so a poker size card, as you can see in red, it's called bridge size. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. My cards are poker size. Bridge size is the standard size, and then poker size is a little bit wider. So the pictures are larger, the font is bigger, and it's also easier for you to hold in your hand. And there's pictures on both sides, and so there's actually, if you guys can do math, 62 times 2 equals. Oh my gosh. Good thing we're English teachers, eh? Yeah, 124. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yeah. Yeah, okay. So there's 124 words in the game, and these words are actually they're taken from inspiration from many different resources. A lot of factors in consideration for word choice in a game, but a lot of the vocabulary in this game comes straight from textbooks that kids and students will use in Japan. In my area, I use New Horizon is the textbook that I use in Himeji. And so a lot of the resources come from there, but also too taken from Scott Crowe, who worked on the New Dolch list, which is a list of vocabulary words. I don't know if you saw in his presentation, it was written on the top of one of his cards, but he actually helped collaborate with a lot of individuals to make a list of really important words to help improve fluency for young learners. So I actually used a little bit of that as inspiration for my game as well. And so the words and sentences, as far as grammar, are very basic. And the concept is simple. You're just trying to match the cards in your hand with a description card. So if I pull up a card, let's say it's blue. I'm looking for a card in my hand that's blue, and I put it down and I say the picture. It's a very simple concept. And we have 2 levels, which I'll talk about a little bit later. All right, how to play. So I actually took this video yesterday. I don't have much content actually for my game because I'm a solo teacher. So I'm in the classroom, and it's hard for you to capture moments as a solo teacher. I'm sure many of you guys can relate to that. Especially if you have a good moment and you say, oh, that was awesome. Okay, let's do it again, but this time I'm going to record, and it's always like totally different, right? So anyway, I was intentional yesterday, brought together some students and to showcase the game. And so this is a playthrough of the game. It's a 1 and 30-second short snippet. And we staged a little bit of the video because we wanted to show, the past party card, the lockdown card, and different components. But even in staging this yesterday, something unexpected happened. And so anyway, please enjoy this unexpected moment. Is it off? I thought it was connected. Sorry, let me check. Oh, looks like it's turned on. 1 second here. I should be connected now. Is it my okay?
Here's the part where I do my show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Scott, quick, Scott, quick. Come on, Scott. Scott, I choose you. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Scott. The setup of the game, shuffling card, dealing up 5 cards to the player, middle.
Do you have a question? What's this? It's a tractor. What's this? It's a shell. Are you ready? Yes, I am. It's green and yellow. Not green and I will say green and yellow. There. On the top.
Green and yellow.
It's slow. A snake is slow.
A tiger is slow.
Wow. It's crazy. Donkey.
Okay. One card to the right. Here you are.
Oh, look there.
So, thank you. I don't know if you saw what happened there. My when she went down to put her card, it flew out of her hands and went to space. And anyway, that was totally unplanned. And so I've played this game a lot in my sorry, my presentation minimized. I played this game probably more than anyone else ever. And so even now, when I play the game, I still have these moments like, wow, this is fun, you know. And that's really the key component, I think, of any game is you want to walk away from it having fun, but also using it as an effective learning tool. There's a lot of science behind games and learning. And I'm not the one who created this idea, but when you have an exciting environment with lots of engagement, lots of dopamine, lots of excitement, those are actually environments where your senses as a human, your brain activity is heightened. And so things you do in those moments are usually for long-term memory's sake, are actually it's better for input and retention of information. So the game is fun, but also it's useful and effective with the fun. You want to watch it again? Sorry. So quick story of how this game came about. Just by show of hands, who here is interested or was interested in making some kind of learning material for their students? Okay, what about a material that could actually be used for other schools or something that you could sell? Just raise your hand. Okay, about half of you. So the process of making the game, when I first made it, I never intended to sell it. Just to be totally honest, I wanted to use it for my students. And so in 2018, I actually made the first version. And you all can relate to this as teachers, I'm sure. You print out these giant sheets of paper and you cut them up and you laminate them and you put them together. And so I had this like really, really terribly put together game for the longest time. And that was Ready Set Ego for almost 2.5 years. And I just played with my students. And so at the end of the before 2020, end of 2019, I remember one of my students' mothers came to me and she says, "Hey, what's that like blue and yellow game? Blue yellow game." I'm like, "Blue yellow? Ready Set Ego? Oh yeah, that's the game. I want to buy it." And I told her, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't." I remember like that moment of like everything slowed down, you know, and like, "Dim, what if you could give it to her and sell it?" Like it's like, you know, God opened the heavens and told me, no, not quite that level, but I kind of had an epiphany where I was like, what if I could sell it? And so I started the process of trying to figure out how to do it. And as Kane mentioned, you know, it is difficult to find answers to some of these questions because it's not a road that is very well traveled, and everyone's road is different. And the process you go from making something to selling something is always going to look different for every single person. And so I went through a lot of just research, and then once I committed to selling the game, then I had to find a supplier, and I had to find how do I get a game made? How do you buy it? And so I figured all that out kind of, and then I found a supplier, and I officially launched Ready Set Ego in 2021. And I put it out there. And I never did any big promotion. I never paid money for advertising. And now Ready Set Ego is ranked among Amazon's top choice for games in all of Japan. It's not because of my effort. It's because of effort like you, word of mouth. So thank you. Thank you. And so in 2021, I launched Ready Set Ego 1, and then 2022, during the peak of COVID, mind you, I launched both these games. Not a very good idea. But this is the general idea. If you're thinking about making a resource, this is just my advice for you. You know, the process of testing something is not a quick process, and it shouldn't be. You have an idea, you have a design, hopefully, notes or whatever, pictures. Then you have a proof of concept, which is a rough put together idea of what you want. And then you have playtest. And then there's this giant cycle here. I call this the black hole of idea creation. And a lot of things, you guys know what a black hole is. A lot of things end up going into the black hole, and guess what? They never come out. That's okay. I have a lot of things in my black hole that I just, forget about and don't want to, use. And that's the way it is. But once something becomes, enough mass, if you will, I'm a huge space geek, by the way. Once it has enough, inertial mass, it'll escape the event horizon and it'll come outside into the supplier realm. And so that's kind of a natural process that you can't force, I think. And so I recommend for you to stay here as long as possible. And if you have an idea that is, good enough, people will tell you and will help you. And I'm a wholehearted believer of that. Here. Yeah. I got pretty fancy. I made a radar plot chart. You guys don't know what this is. I learned this word last week, the radar chart plot, comparing Ready Set Ego 1 versus level 2. And so when you focus on communication, in the video I showed you, before the game even starts, communication happens, at least in my lessons. So I had one of my students, Nao-chan, she was a teacher, and she asked everybody, hey, do you have any questions? She's 6th grade, actually, elementary school. So she was the oldest, so I let her be the teacher. And then in that video, the youngest was 3rd year elementary school. And so she asks, do you have questions? And then students will ask you, oh, what's this? What's this? Because, 124 cards, pictures, there's bound to be something that they don't know. And so before the game starts, students are engaged in conversation. And then once everyone's ready, are you ready? Yes, I am. And the game actually begins. And so before the game even starts, vocabulary building is a huge component of this game. And in a moment, I'm going to share some advice for that pre-teaching vocabulary section. But when you look at the outline of the games, level 1 and level 2, the biggest difference is going to be down here on the bottom side. So it's not only vocabulary building, grammar comprehension, listening ability, reading comprehension. The game introduces a kind of a unique element, I think, which is called critical thinking and analysis. And so imagine I'm sitting here with 5 cards, 10 pictures, and a description card is drawn. Okay, let's say, for example, it has 6 letters, right? Now, this is a pretty black and white card, but this is a word that students don't often recognize, right? Alphabet. They know the word alphabet, but they don't know that each letter is called a letter, right? So it has 6 letters. So they're looking for the letters. They're counting. So that's another part of this game. You can teach counting, although to 6 is not very difficult. But beyond this, there's really, really difficult cards that force critical analysis for a student. So it's dangerous. So students are thinking, oh my gosh, is a toilet dangerous? Well, could be. After my dad goes to the toilet, it's pretty dangerous, right?
It was at my high school.
Yeah, right. And so these are conversations that young children don't often get the chance to think or communicate about, but these moments happen just naturally in the class. And it's really interesting when students put down a word like, say, strawberry. Like, why is a strawberry dangerous? And so give the student a chance to kind of explain their answer. And so before you know it, you'll see 3rd, 4th, 5th grade students actually explaining. At first, say it in Japanese, probably. Then you can guide them through it and say it in English, of course. But this is a huge component of this game is that communication part. It's in a backpack, for example. So you can think of something that's in a backpack. One of my students yesterday, last week, they put in umbrella. So it's like one of those clown umbrellas, right? And so anyway, she explained, no, it's a compact umbrella. Ah, okay. And we gave her the point, right? So there's a lot of leeway. It isn't in my home. My favorite is police car. And then moving on to level 2. Level 2 is an expansion pack of level 1. So there's actually only 10 picture cards in this game. So I intended this to be used in conjunction with level 1. So if you don't have level 1 and you want to buy level 2, you can, but there's only 10 cards. So it's going to be a very short game. So I recommend buying both. And I'll be giving away one of these as well. I'll be quizzing you on this, so hope you're listening. The biggest difference with level 2 and level 1 is that the words and sentences, the grammar goes up and the critical thinking goes up as well. This is a basic one in the set, but then it gets quickly complicated. Comparatives, it's faster than the cheetah. Eating this every day is healthy. So we're moving a lot more into gray area where you're thinking about, oh, if you eat it, you'll get sick, right? Same kid puts down toilet because that's like the power card in the game. Can match with anything. It's dangerous if it's used by children. Toilet, that's another one for the toilet. It's a lucrative card, let me tell you. So now, actually, currently, I'm actually working on updating the level 2 cards. So it's part of the reason why I'm giving it away today is because I need to get rid of stock. But please buy. The words are the same. I'm just adding little pictographs on the bottom. And that's a huge component of this game. The reason why I have pictographs is because when I was teaching my children, there aren't very many resources for kids. What I mean by that is there aren't many games for young children, especially those who can't read yet. And so the reason why I add the pictographs is because I want to help lead children into the understanding independently as much as possible. And as a teacher, your job is to guide and to help them find that answer on their own. And so what the pictographs do is if you look at just the pictograph here, you have a really good idea of what the meaning is, right? Maybe. I hope so. This one as well, right? So O2, no O2 equals death, right? Without air, it will die. You can fit 5 of these in your home. I really hope you don't have 5 wheelchairs in your home, but that's a whole nother story. I also have level 3. Woo! Now, this is probably not for children, so I recommend ages 11 or 12 plus, but this is an example. Can we read this together? Can everyone see it? Yes. Right? All right, ready, go. It's
inappropriate at a child's birthday party.
Yeah.
Kenny.
Kenny, the guy, Scott says Kenny out loud. Also put down toilet. That's another one. The next one right here, let's read it together. Ready, go. You. Good. It's hard to tell, but Mr. Pilot is holding a beer bottle as he's walking away from the crash. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Pilot's name Kenny.
All right, this is a brand new information. I actually completed the order for this actually last week. I have a expansion card pack coming with 30 new cards, totally new picture cards with 60 words in total. It's going to be available hopefully next month. If you see me in person, I'll give it to you at a small discount. So 500 yen only. So go ahead and 1 coin for this. But this is adding way more vocabulary that is directly from textbooks, especially the word dragon. That's definitely in the textbook, I think. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But more valuable. Maybe you recognize some of them. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So maximizing our Redis Ego as a lesson material pre-teaching. So before you play the game, I recommend teaching the vocabulary in the game in many different ways. So we have on the left side, you see it's a Karata style game. And this is the same thing, Karata style, but you switch it up. You put the description cards on the tape on the floor. And this really, really focuses on helping students reading comprehension, but also motivation to try and read sentences that are difficult otherwise. Instead of just reading and repeating, it's, you boil it up in a game. It's much more exciting. And then we have bingo as well. Another thing that I do in this in my lessons is I use the vocabulary as a standalone lesson material in conjunction with my textbook. So last week I was teaching I don't have and I have, and I won't show you the video because it's not really that important, but I just laid out the picture cards and we just said, hey, I have a hamster. Wow, you have a hamster? That's great. I don't have the moon. I take the moon. I don't have Japan. We all have Japan. Yeah. Right. It's just wonderful moments in the lesson. Oh, sorry.
A new card.
But there are many ways to play. And actually, I told you about this Kardos style just recently now, but last week, actually, in preparing for this presentation, I actually made a new way to play, which I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier because it seems so obvious. But normally, each player has their own individual cards. But what if you split the group into teams? And so what I did, I had a class of 6 students. It's actually perfect, 6, right? 3 and 3. And so I had all these students together, and then had the other students together. And I made them a rule that before they put down a card, each player had 2 cards, so 6 total. But before they put down the card, they had to decide as a group which card to put down. And in English, very basic sentences. Okay, these are first-year elementary school students, by the way. And you lead them into the situation, the lesson once, you teach them what to say. So very simple English. The grammar used in Ready, Set, Ego is used here, right? It is. Switch to a question. Is it? Right? Boom. So, hey, is it blue? Oh, yes, it is. Okay. Is this okay? That's all you need. And so these first-year elementary school students were able to communicate collaboratively and to play together. And it was really fun. And so I let them, as a team, they could put down 2 cards per match. And in fact, I recommend allowing as many matches as possible for the round. And so if you just have one player matching 1 card per round, that's a really competitive style, which is great. But if you really want to focus on education, I would encourage you to allow as many students to match as possible. Of course, 1 card per person. But the reason why I do that is because winning is not the outcome that I want. I don't want them to win just to have that satisfaction. I want them to learn. And I always have one student in my lessons that is usually really advanced, right? And they're always the first one to put down a card. Toilet, yes, toilet, woo. But then there's one girl or boy who's really shy. And so I want to give them the opportunity to match as well. And so I'll give them the time to discuss, right? Like this, but in their own way. And that's been way more effective in helping students learn in the lesson and enjoy the game. Because the slow students, obviously, they lose every time. It's not really motivating, right? So anyway, I just also made this recently as well. I put all the description cards down so students could, practice reading these ahead of time and on their own. So I have that at the table. You can take a look. Dun, 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 dun. I have more games than Ready, Set, Ego. Oh my gosh. Wow. I've been working on a game. Who knows the game Happy Salmon? Happy Salmon. We have 1, 2. Thank you. I'm making a Happy Salmon version, but focused on speaking. I would love to play test it with you live today if you have a chance. I have the copy with me today. I'm also making a Ready, Set, Nihongo. I really want to pass JPLT N1. I got to really work on the vocabulary, so I'm working on that. And then I also have another game I want to tell you about. Who knows Apples to Apples? Really, only 2 people. Okay, geez, 3 people. Thank you. I have a game called Apples with Oranges. Copyright, right? It's a really fun matching game with just adjectives and vocab words as well. And actually, this is more popular than Ready, Set, Ego currently at my school, which I kind of feel kind of heartbroken because I intended this for junior high school classes, but my elementary school students love it. So really fun cards. This is a real picture, by the way. It's a horse diving. That used to be a sport. Yeah, I know, right? That was my reaction too. No way. There's a Disney movie about horse diving, by the way. I forget the name of it. You can look it up. Yeah, it's in the 90s. 1990s were a special era, let me tell you. But yeah, so yeah, friends, horse diving, these horses, air shows, public restrooms. Just really interesting vocab, but things that you don't normally learn in the textbook, but you can learn it here as well.
Is that a memory game or something?
So apples to apples, I'm sorry, thank you for asking. Kenny asked if that's a memory game. So apples to apples is there's an adjective that's drawn, and there's a main word and a secondary word. Let me just back up real quick to show you, I guess. No, it's okay. So quiet and peaceful, right? They're synonyms, similar, but they have different nuance. So quiet is the main one. And so each player has, say, 8 pictures in their hand, and they choose 2 cards to secretly submit as their choice for quiet. And then once every player has put down 2 cards, then you draw 2 dummy cards, and you mix them all up. And then one player is the judge. The judge doesn't put down any cards, but the judge will then reveal all the pictures that have been chosen, and then they decide, okay, a shipwreck is not peaceful. Boom. These horses are not peaceful. So they go one by one, eliminating the cards and explaining why. And then friends is peaceful. Friends. And they choose friends. And so whoever put down the card friends gets to keep this card as a point. And so then the next person in the line will be the judge for the next round, and they choose the next card. So the first player to get 3 orange slice cards is the winner. Yeah. The reason why I made this game is because I like apples to apples, but for students, not being able to visualize, right? So if I put down these horses as a word, what horses, right? So it helps visualize more. That's the reason why I have the pictures. Where to buy my game? Here. Amazon, English books, ELT books, Little America, My Table. Give me a call. Give me a message. Yo, I'll give you a good discount. If you buy directly from me, by the way, there is a discount. Just so you know. It's a secret, but I'll tell you if you come later. This is just something I want you to take a picture of. I want to end with this. These are all resources that I used that really helped me, and I want to recommend them to you if you don't know them. Google Fonts, which is Eric, uses those as well. A lot of free fonts that you can use commercially that are really awesome. The font that my game uses is called Lexendeca, which is a scientifically researched font to help with readability. It's not a reading font. Sorry, not a writing font. I'm sorry. It's a reading font. So it's designed for reading skill. PicMonkey, which is a design in-browser design software that's really, really, really good for making flyers, really quick designs, really user-friendly. People like me who are terrible at design can have a lot of fun with this. And then once you have their design, you can go to Affinity Designer, which is one purchase of, 7,000 yen for the license forever. It's not a yearly purchase, and you can do almost, as much as you can in other, design software as well. ClickPost. Who knows ClickPost? Not very many people know about ClickPost, but you can send an A4 size package up to 3 centimeters anywhere in Japan under 1 kilo for less than 200 yen. Yeah. Sugoi desho. Now, I was really lucky. This is totally serendipitous, but my card game. So, any guesses on how thick this card game is? 2.9 centimeters. So you add in the envelope, it's just size for ClickPost, right? So totally my decision. I totally thought about that. That was totally me. Totally. Did all the research, right? Yeah. So anyway, I recommend that for you guys. Last is any questions?
Reference what I will. Take it to your grave. Take it to your grave. All right. Yeah. So I mean, to reflect a little bit more on the comfort zone, I think this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I think it can relate a bit to our materials and how we got to making them and what they can do in your classroom for your students. Stop chuckling. All right. So thinking about this here first, comfort zone, right? So the comfort zone is where we have a lot of routines. We feel safe. You can go into classroom and just, I know I do this game, I do that, I do that, I do that. It's done. It worked. Wonderful. Go home. That would be it, right? Everyone has times where they'll stick to that comfort zone. But think about it a bit. When we go beyond that comfort zone by taking some risks, doing something a little bit different, doing something that makes us uncomfortable, like I heard drawing and
dancing and singing, putting on a costume and videoing yourself, any of these things can cause discomfort. Then we enter the fear zone. And if we get stuck here, this is where we make excuses. Oh, well, if anyone has teachers that they employ, they probably are quite familiar with, well, I didn't do this song because the kids didn't like it. Well, that's probably lacking confidence, not feeling like jumping in and doing that song or whatever it is going to work. They feel like they're bound to fail, right? But if we work through this fear zone, what we find is the next zone would be the learning zone. We conquer those fears, we try new things, we find some success. Some things don't work, but we accept them. Here's where we extend our comfort zone, we acquire new skills, and we confront new challenges. And when we really push it and we continue to build confidence in that way, we can enter what's called the growth zone, which is where we set new goals, find purpose, and yeah, overall, conquer objectives and just become something bigger. So how does this relate to the Awesome Adventure series, is the question. Well, first I want to start by looking at a comfortable approach, what maybe a lot of you are familiar with. Most of you have probably moved beyond what's I would consider to be the comfortable approach, but a lot of the elements of this will be very familiar to you. So I think in a comfortable approach, typically in Japan, we see lots of drilling, lots of simple games played with flashcards. I want to say, I'm not saying these things are bad. I'm just saying that they're mainstays that are quite familiar and comfortable for many of us. So really simple flashcard games like Scott mentioned, the point or touch or that kind of stuff. Basic chants, so not like a full, not singing Aretha Franklin or something like that, but just doing it's a ball, it's a ball, it's a ball. Basic chants, useful, again, not disparaging these. The ever so warm blankety target language. I know what I'm teaching today. It's the present simple routines. If I can get my students to say, I go to school, I brush my teeth in the morning, I know they've achieved that, I've been successful. Target language. And with that, a grammar syllabus. These things they make us feel very comfortable. So I know what's next. I've got a map. Having a map is comfortable, right? If you're going somewhere, you want to know where you're going. If you don't have one, sometimes it's anxiety, fear, unpredictability. Controlled practice. So activities that the kids can achieve where they're communicating, but typically using only that target language, where we're just going back and forth. Is it a ball? Yes, it is. Is it that kind of thing. Again, useful in its place. But, so this is what this looks like, I think. We put a itty little bit of vocabulary, maybe 8 words, maybe 10, maybe 15 in a month. We give them a little bit of grammar, verb, be verb plus ing, whatever it is. One little pattern, something very comfortable. We know the kids can get it. We know they can achieve it. And then we give them what is called restricted output. So we're giving them a chance to communicate, but it's restricted. You're using this language to achieve this thing. There's not a lot of kind of room for expanding, going off the script. But what I want to ask you is, what if we did this? What if we flipped it? We just abandoned that altogether and jumped into the deep end, made ourselves very, partly uncomfortable, and offered our students rich input. So not super simple stories that are overly graded that don't go anywhere, but input that is a little bit beyond what the learner's current level is. With lots of language, lots of quantity, content, varied input. So not just stories, but rich content in terms of songs, rich content in terms of activities, listening, reading, all of these different types of input that are very rich. Meaningful content, all of that content that is something that the kids are not doing obviously for the purpose of language learning, but something that they're genuinely deeply interested in, that they just get excited and they just want to know what's going to happen next. Genuine communication. Again, so I think a lot of the examples we saw today were nice. Tim's game, I think, is something that really gets genuine communication. It's not just you follow the script to do this thing. As he said, there's lots of other bits of language that kind of happen in it. That is genuine communication. It could be simple, but if you have children who are native speakers of English play Tim's game, which I've seen, they love it. So it's authentic in that it's something that is super engaging, even despite language, right? And these communication activities should require lots of different types of communication, negotiating, problem solving, creating. And if we were able to give the learners feedback, and instead of pre-planning, we're going to do the present simple today, we wait until the learners produce something, and then we go, aha, you need the present simple. And then, only then we teach it when it's relevant to them and when they need it. This can be really powerful. Anyway, so okay, so what if we do this? What if I haven't yet done it? Okay. So what does this look like? Here's my image. So we're giving them not just a couple words, we're giving them whole chunks of meaningful language. These are individual words, a word cloud, but think of it more as sentences or text. Lots of it. And we're giving them authentic output. Opportunities, again, like Tim's game, lots of different activities that allow them to get them to think, get them to create, get them to talk, get them to discuss, get them to, do all of those wonderful things that we do with our minds and our words when using language. From there, we can pick up grammar, vocabulary, things that they are meeting them at their level, where they need the language, right? When you give a child the present simple, here you go, learn it. How many of you have seen the children the next day or the next month consistently use the present simple? Hands up if you haven't. Right? Oh, we've got one who has. You taught them the present simple, and the next day they were using the present simple. Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
I broke my.
Yeah, but do they go, hey, you know what I do every day? I tell you about the routine. It's if you can elicit it or they can learn it, but do they use it in a genuine communicative way? That's sort of what I'm getting at. Yeah? So a lot of us have probably struggled with this. And I did for years and years and years. I got so frustrated by why don't they use what I teach them? It drives me absolutely nuts. It is. But if you meet them when in a task or a game or a project, and they're trying to use this language, and you catch that moment and you give them feedback, get them to notice it, help them to use it in that context, it sticks. We start to, again, what if we did this, right? What if it might stick? It does stick. Okay. Yeah, so then, yeah, taking that, what we get from them, and using that as our language work and putting them back into output, having them use it. What do you think? Do you think this would work, or do you think this is terrifying? Both? Yeah. All right. I like that. Why both?
It's really tricky to get lesson plans and activities and that sort of stuff. No,
Yes.
to come up, to thinking that way.
Yeah.
To develop those authentic outputs.
Right.
Authentic, it's very difficult to create something. It's authentic.
Definitely, yeah. And it can, if you don't get it right, it can kind of fall flat. And then you go like, oh, it didn't work, and go back to the comfort zone. Yeah. Anybody else think it would work? It's terrifying. All right. Let's continue. All right, so I'll show you what it looks like in the Awesome Adventure series. This is how we put that together. So we have a 3-month cycle that goes from a song into sort of somewhat easier speaking activity, which could be a game, it could be a task, it could be a small project, but mostly not at this stage. Then we go into our graded comic readers, and we do a whole month, a whole unit based on that. After that, again, we do some speaking activities, which very specifically put the students in situations in the story. So they're actually kind of living out those situations. They have all of this language they've picked up from the stories. They've got the context, and now they interact, they play a game in that theme or in a situation that involved those characters. Then finally, at the end of every 3-month cycle, we end with the more deeper games that encourage higher order cognitive thinking skills to be used. And there's, yeah, so some of them are tasks, something more like a task-based learning. Some of them are projects. The end of each course has one sort of meaty project that kind of the whole month to do. But it recycles the language, and they're very authentic, right? There's lots of language that they're borrowing from here, but there's also lots of other stuff that they can pick from their past experience or that you can feed in, help them with. One more thing I want to say is that each course, we have 4 levels. Each level has one plot line that goes through the whole year. The students follow the characters. A lot of textbooks out there have characters like Let's Go or whatever, but those characters, they don't really do anything, right? They're kind of like, we go to school, pack our backpack. Kids don't get attached to it. Our stories, they do stuff. They do really cool stuff. Yeah, so they're following that plot line throughout the whole year. So first of all, in the water before the step part. So we'll start off with a song, and the song is a story-based song. It's not a vocabulary chant. It's not about brushing your teeth. It sort of leads into the next section of the story. So the story is told through the songs and through the comic readers. And before we jump into and I show you one song, I want to give you some context. So I'm going to kind of walk you through our level 3 series. And in level 3, we have 2 main characters, Noah and Mia, and they get in trouble with their parents for not doing their chores. Then they build, I'll keep it short, they build a chore robot. And then in the second story, the robots start to spread, the technology kind of blows up, and then the robots start to do things that are not according to the plan, a little bit of an AI kind of situation. I wrote this way before ChatGPT. But no one ever, I'm the first one to have robots taking over the world. Very innovative. Yeah, so the robots are doing different things. Noah and Mia follow them to find out what they're doing. They end up discovering that the robots have a plot to take over the world. They go to find their inventor uncle named Zorn, and when they find him, he says that they need to find the unicorns in order to battle the robots. They go on a quest, they find the unicorns battle the robots, the unicorns win, they destroy the robots. However, in the process, the planet Earth is destroyed beyond repair.
Really positive.
Yeah. Well, that's the climax, right? That's level 3. All right, so what do you think happens after that? You know. Yeah. You said something. What happens after the Earth is destroyed? We still have a whole book to go. Save the world. Yes. Yeah. Anything? There we go. Okay, so from this point in the adventure, they take to space. And the whole last 3 units have a very space kind of futuristic theme, and in search of a new planet. So let's song cue. No, that's
Acapella, acapella.
All right,
Brave.
so
Be brave.
tell me, you can do it.
Adam, you can do it.
Right, okay. All right. So all of the songs have these comic lyric sheets. So in this one, we see a bit of an opening dialogue where they're seeing how bad the Earth is. And then we start with hop into my rocket. We're going to go into space. We're going to find a better place. And then there's lots of language related to finding it. What's that ahead? I can see a planet. It's small and red. Can we live there? Does it have water? Let's go and see. Nah, we've landed. Put on your space suit. Let's go outside. I can't wait to see. And it goes on and on about different planets. So everyone stand up.
Oh,
Okay. When I say hop into my rocket, you guys have to sit down and jump into your chair. Okay, ready? Hop into my rocket. And back up. Okay. Now if I say we're gonna go into space, you gotta point like this. We're gonna go into space. Hop into my rocket. We're gonna go into. I can say we're gonna go into space. Okay. We're gonna find a better place. Gonna find a better place. Okay, ready? Up. Hop into my rocket. Hop into my rocket. We're gonna find a better place. We're gonna find a better place. Hop into my rocket. Hop into my rocket. We're gonna go into space.
we're gonna go into space.
Okay, now give me an action. What's that ahead?
What's that ahead?
No, what's that ahead?
What's that ahead?
I can see a planet.
I can see a planet.
What's that ahead?
What's that ahead?
I can see a planet.
I can see a planet.
It's small and red.
It's small and red.
Okay. Let's try it all together. Ready, everyone? You're already singing. The kids don't usually sing at this point. You guys are pretty darn good. Quite a good voice. Oh yeah. They're really good. Okay, let's stand up and let's sing together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hop into my rocket. We're gonna go into space. Hop into my rocket. We're gonna find a better place. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that ahead? I can see a planet. It's small. All right, I will stop there. I will show you what it looks like when 6 cute girls in uniforms do the very same song. Let's do this. Are we connected? Ah.
It's small and red.
It's going to go to space.
Up, everyone.
Oh, they can hear it. All right, I'll stop it with that. So that's one example of the songs in the course. So they're story-based. The language is somewhat complex. That one's in the medium kind of range. Some of them get more complex than that. But for us, a song is a text. It's a vehicle for language. It's a vehicle for input. And inputs should they be simple or
Rich.
rich? Yeah. So it's a rich kind of a type of an example of rich input that we would be able to give our students. You don't need to. Whoops. Yeah, well, braveness doesn't help me with the time. I defy you. All right, so next we'll look at what we do with stories. So again, this is the fourth book in the series where they're going into space. So I'm gonna just tell you a little bit of the story here. Right, so here we have it. The Earth has been destroyed and we're getting ready to go into space with a rocket. We've got the captain being interviewed on TV. Some of the language that's in here is in the song. Some of it is from previous songs or previous stories as well. They're speculating on what it will be like when they find that ideal planet. Then we get into their daily routine on the ship. So if you want an interesting context to teach brush your teeth, I'm happy that came up. It would not be with 7 other daily routine actions. I didn't do brush your teeth here. But as they're settling into a new lifestyle, a new routine on a long voyage into space, there's where it might be interesting for a child to learn something like, he brushes his teeth. Not so much like looking at a picture of Tony from Let's Go or whatever I should say. He's brushing his teeth. It's just not interesting. In this case, it could potentially be very interesting. It could come up incidental. Oops, there we go. So they go to the cafeteria and they meet some of the past characters that were in the previous books. There's a lot of humor, a lot of things that get the kids laughing in here. Then one day something happens. The intercom goes off and the captain announces that they found a potential planet for them to visit. And here he goes, "What's that? I can see a planet. It's small and red." Sound familiar? "Quick, turn on the scanner and get Dr. Zorn and Dr. Babel. We have to analyze the planet." Words like analyze are actually pre-taught. They're in Gamerise Dictionary or with flashcards, you can do that as well. Then we see a screen with the scanner with the information, and we have these questions which the learners might answer. Does it have water? We got a yes. Does it have any air? Yes. What's the temperature? Between -10 and 465. Okay. Is it too hot? Maybe, depends on the season. Is it too cold? What is the weather like? And are there any animals? And all that information is kind of here on the screen, so the students can look at that and talk. And then they get the decision, do they want to visit the planet or not? Now, there's a little bit of cognition in this, where they will have to use the information and apply it to understand whether this would be a suitable planet to visit. And in most cases, the first time they go through, they don't visit the planet. But it's a lot more fun if they do. Because there's hilarious, it's a choose your own adventure. There are kind of hilarious outcomes when they visit the planets that are not suited. Right?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So in the story, if they do choose to visit the planet, what do you do with the next page?
So it's there. It's if you choice A, go to the yes, visit the planet, go to page 14. Choice B, no, go to page 15. But yeah, just to give you some examples, one planet they visit, there's only one animal on it, but everything else looks pretty good. There's water, and it turns out to be this water planet. The penguin character is very happy. And then it turns out that this massive beast is the only inhabitant of the planet, and he's lonely, and he wants to eat them. Other planets, there's the vicious hordes of killer rabbits. It's quite fun. And the final planet they actually decide to stay on. They think it's perfect. Everybody's super happy until it starts to rain, and the inhabitants of the planet are delighted. They love the rain, but it turns out the rain just smells foul. So they give up on their quest, and then they go back to Earth, and they decide that they need to clean up the Earth because there is no other way. So it goes full circle, refusing to clean up the house, and then ending up, choosing on their own to clean the planet. So a couple of interesting things that you can do with these stories. You can do it as a straight reading. Our lesson plans give lots of tasks you can do while you're going through the story. This is a really cool activity that we have. So we have lots of different planets and asteroids and things like that, and little information cards. So as you tell the story, the students can follow through the map. Like it's small and red. Ooh, which one is it? Go through the asteroids. Okay, so they'll follow on the map to show that they comprehend and to kind of keep them focused. And then they really enjoy this kind of filling out. Once they've gone to this planet, does it have water? Yes, check. Air, check. Write down the temperature, circle the weather. It gives them stuff to do, possibly the second time they're hearing the story, or even after that. So we follow up the song, speaking activity, story, speaking activity, and then we get into the deeper projects, tasks, and games. And these are, again, deeply connected to the whole story and all of the other content. The language is recycled, the themes are connected, and these are designed to get students to think. Honestly, I don't have time to show you how to play these games, so I'll just kind of describe it. First one, their students make a pair of scientist and captain, and then they have to research different scanners. They have air scanner, water scanner, animal scanner, weather scanner, temperature scanner. Then they have to go to different planets and scan for the different things. And when they find the planet that has all of the appropriate, all of the criteria for a livable planet, then they win the game. And they have a certain number of turns, or it can be played as a race. But they're using lots of language like, does it have water? Does it have any air? Can we live there? Let's research a scanner, and then loads of other kind of language that comes up. This is at the end of the course. This would be more in the project type thing. And I think Katie will probably talk about project-based learning at the end. So at the end of the thing, they come back and they clean up Earth, and then they also rebuild a city of the future. So this is an activity where they have all these cutouts with different, we've got greenhouse towers, apartment buildings, parks, shopping areas, hospitals. There's another couple pages of it. They all have prices, and then the kids will talk together and choose where they're going to put the different things and justify their reasons for it. So that can get a lot of talk and really get them thinking about what the ideal city is. This looks a little bit like Risk, but this is a battle game between unicorns and robots. One team is robots. These factories pump out robots, and they have to go and pollute these areas of natural beauty. Unicorns go and have to defend. Again, this surprisingly recycles quite a lot of language from the stories and the songs. Escaping a prison. In pairs, choose which item you want to use and how you're going to get through the different obstacles, the T-Rex, lava, evil tigers. There's a probability chart in the lesson plans. So when they choose, for example, the shovel and the T-Rex, they will have to roll a very high number in order to be successful. So there's a bit of thinking there. And more. And just to give you an idea where the whole course, over the course of 4 levels, how far it goes or where it gets. The final project of the level 4 series is to create an action plan for their own life. So what they do is they look at the characters in the story, and they look at how they became, what they became. They look at what steps that character took in order to get to there, and also what types of habits they had. After going through a few examples of that with the other characters, they build up to having them create their own action plan for their own lives. Talk about what, often we have in ESL or EFL materials, I want to be an astronaut. And they learn to say, I want to be a firefighter. Shower, right? It's not, they're saying it. Well, basically now it's all, I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Or is it TikToker? But anyways, if they do say YouTuber, great, let's talk about how you're going to get there. What are the things you're going to do? It just doesn't happen. And I just want to end on one thing here. All of the tasks, all of the content that we built doesn't just teach English. It does teach to an extent thinking skills, but it also digs into some really deep content. For example, things like identity. We have one that talks about, is it a boy, is it a girl, is it an animal? And it challenges that kind of notion of what is what. You know, when we teach pronouns in English, it's always, he's a boy, she's a girl, he, she, right? But let's look at that a little bit more. We've got things on food waste, looking at how we use, how much of the food that we produce we actually use and how much gets wasted. It's in the story, and then there's a whole activity that challenges the kids to think about that. Yeah, so I'm going to finish off with that. Are you a brave teacher?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. So, because I believe it takes a brave teacher to inspire our students to be brave. I think that our comfort zone is also kind of a cage for our students, right? If we always do the same things and we expect they can only do this, that's all they're going to give us. If you take a goldfish out of a goldfish bowl and put it in a pond, it's going to grow and grow and grow. So what kind of zone are you putting your students in? That's what I challenge you to ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah.
So I wish he hadn't have told the story of how we met, because that was going to be my opener. I'm the sort of surprise speaker, I guess. My name's Keysby. I got to choose my own job title, so naturally I chose the title Technomancer. Because that means basically I do anything that involves technology, anything with computers, anything with computers basically, which is, as you all know, most of the modern world. But it's true, I didn't meet him at a bar. When I came to Japan, I decided I want to go to Japan. Makes sense, right? So far. So I bought a plane ticket. That's the next logical step. I landed in Osaka, actually. But how did I end up in Gifu? Because I saw a map of Japan on the wall at the airport. And I saw Gifu City. And I said, I'll go there. So the next day, I took the Shinkansen up to Gifu. I went to a ramen shop. I asked the guy, I couldn't speak any Japanese. And I said, hotel? Hotelu? Oh yeah, see, I had a smartphone, dictionary, hotelu. Yasui hotelu. And he set me up in a business hotel, you know, it's like five goman a month, something like that. And 3 days later, every night I'm just going out, I'm just trying to get the lay of the land. I bought a one-way ticket to Japan. I was like, I'm American, I get 3 months free, you know? If I can't find a job in 3 months, then I don't know. So I went to Gifu on a whim. I went to this bar on a whim. I sat down next to this fella on a whim. And then he started talking to me. And he said, hey, do you know anyone who can make an app? And I said, yeah, I can do that. And he said, why don't you come to my school tomorrow, talk to my number 2, and let's see if we can set something up. And within 2 weeks, I was living at Kenny's house. He was putting me up in his house while he signed for my apartment. And that's the story of, 8 years later, here I am, I'm married, and I'm speaking in front of all you beautiful people.
Woo. Very cool.
So what's the moral of that story? I'm so happy that I got to speak here today, and I'm so happy that I got to speak now, right? I was supposed to speak next, but I'm really happy that I got to come next after the last talk specifically, because all the things that I'm going to talk about today are very much in line with a lot of the things that you've heard today. And the moral of my story of how I came to Japan, right, is I believe in freestyle. And I think any good educator also believes in freestyle. But there are rules to freestyle, right? Now, I know we have a few musicians in the house. I know some of you, musicians in the house, right? You jam, it's great, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, but you got to play in key, right? If you're not in key, that's not jazz, that's noise. It's not music. So I believe in freestyle, but I also believe in structure. So forgive me if I get ever so philosophical with you today, but I believe each and every one of you also needs to believe in freestyle. You need to believe in yourselves as an antenna who cares if you care, right? If you don't care, then what? You're not here, right? If you care, you have to believe in freestyle. You have to believe in filling in the gaps. Now, what does that have to do with anything that I'm going to talk about today? Well, because I'm in the unique position of not having to sell some kind of system or anything. I'm selling a content delivery structure, which allows you as educators to freestyle. So what am I talking about today? I'm talking about the Maple Leaf Learning Library, okay? That's mapleleaflearning.com/library. And I've chosen my topic today to be take the pain out of lesson planning. Now, having structure is a great, fantastic, wonderful thing, but you cannot account for all scenarios. Sometimes it's device failure. Sometimes it's a particularly troublesome class or just one particularly troublesome kid. Sometimes you need to borrow a phrase from the previous presentation, step outside of your comfort zone, right? Now, how many of you are familiar with Maple Leaf Learning as a company? Good, a lot of you. That's very good. Good for you. How many of you use Maple Leaf Learning materials? Good, that's a lot of you. How many of you use the books? Significantly fewer of you. How many of you use the music? Now, we all know what makes Kenny's music so good, but we don't often vocalize it. What makes the music so good? We'll get to that later. Believe me. What makes it so good is because it's flexible, but it serves the primary purpose of music, which is repetition, right? Especially at the young level. You're not going to grasp whole sentences. You're not going to even grasp ideas per se at a low level. But you need to have the sound in your mouth and associating that sound with action and rhythm. That's great for vocabulary building, right? Now, one of the reasons, though, I don't know if he himself would say this, everyone uses his music because his music is perfect for what it was designed for. The books are also good, but a lot of you won't use them because the structure is not necessarily where you want to go with your day-to-day lessons or even your whole curriculum. But I'm here to tell you today that you can have it both ways. So, introducing the Maple Leaf Learning Library. As of right now, we have over 130,000 registered accounts worldwide. It's a significant amount of people. And I would have to say most of them are happy because I also do the customer support. So if you've ever contacted support, you might not have guessed that I was on the other end because I'm actually very polite online. But in real life, I'm quite opinionated. And it can't be that bad because we don't get that many complaints in the grand scheme of things, right? So we've got people in Japan, obviously, our home turf, but we've got a significant portion of users in South America. We've got a significant portion of users in Eastern Europe specifically, where this is just a deal you can't pass up. Because we do sell a premium subscription, okay? And our premium subscription, we'll get into the specifics of what's free, what's premium. But, there's enough free stuff there that we have 130,000 people using those materials. And a significantly lower number of premium accounts because one, turnover rate is really difficult. I don't know how many technical people there are in the crowd, but turnover rate is extremely difficult in the tech field. And two, this has all been building up to something that I'm going to talk about later, the release of the actual Maple Leaf Learning Library. That what I'm going to show you today is just a prototype for it, okay? On the website itself, we've got over 500 resources for you to download and use at your leisure, at your whim, okay? We've got flashcards for everything. We've got activities, we've got worksheets, we've got games, we've got crafts. Whatever you need, we've got it. You need to fill a lesson with something, we've got what you need. Do you need to build vocabulary for a specific subject? I guarantee you we have flashcards. And any flashcards that coincide with one of the Maple Leaf Learning songs, I should mention, are strictly free because we don't know where you got that music. Okay, you might have got it from Amazon, you might have bought a CD. So we give you all of those for free. Don't you worry about that. Most of our worksheets are free. Okay, but when you start getting into the fancier, cooler, more freestyle, jammy stuff, the more yummy stuff, in my opinion, you get a pay. Right? Now I should mention that the premium subscription also includes the entire Maple Leaf Learning library of songs. And that includes 7 full albums. 7, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including the holiday albums, okay? And more than 100 music videos that you can download to bring with you, because we all know that you don't always have a Wi-Fi connection. You can't always predict, you can't always rely on streaming. So you can download the music, you can download the videos straight to your iPad, your computer, whatever, and you can use them in a professional capacity at your discretion, which I have personally found to be a fantastic thing because, I was just talking, I think it was with you earlier, right? I went to a restaurant last night. They had, it was good. It was called Katsuo, something like that. And the food was good, the atmosphere was good. And then everyone at the table kind of was like, we're all bummed out. When it turned out you had to like scan a QR code and order on your phone. It's like, come on, man, technology doesn't belong there, right? And you might think that my job as the tech guy is to sell you on technology no matter the cost. That's not true. Technology doesn't belong in most places. So I'm not here to try to convince you to use your computer to replace paper. That's ridiculous. Paper is king, especially in young education, because there's a certain didactic reasonability about it, right? You can touch it, you can feel it. It gives you infinite opportunities to practice actual language with your children beyond just trying to teach them something, giving them exposure to the everyday language that you have to use naturally just in order to build the thing or use the thing, right? So you also have access to 12 complete textbooks. Okay, that's everything from the Sing and Play blue, green, purple craft books all the way to everyday English, 1, 2, and 3, the short stories series, the 3-letter words, more phonics, all of those books. Again, to be used at your discretion in a professional capacity. Not everybody, now a lot of you here, I think you own your own schools. So you probably buy books and that's a good thing, but sometimes you either need an extra page from something or you want to test something out before you order a bunch of books for your classroom. Because trust me, it'll definitely cost a lot more to print off 30 books worth of the books. So we don't mind giving them away for free. A few basic features of the Maple Leaf Learning Library. HTTPS. Why am I even talking about this? Because I also believe in something called social responsibility. That's something other people have touched on, particularly this gentleman to my right. Now, he didn't put it that way.
Adam.
I'm bad with names. I wanted to say Adam.
You've got the hardest name to remember than anyone I've ever met.
Names is not my.
I just get.
I was going to say Adam, but then I thought gentleman, so that works. I got caught out. Right? Jamming doesn't always work out. But he was talking about something that I like to call social responsibility, right? You're all educators and you're trying to teach English, but you have a responsibility to society writ large to teach something other than just English straight up. You're teaching responsibility, you're teaching fine motor skills, go as basic as you want with it. That's the fact of the matter. So HTTPS, it's insane to me. You guys might not even be aware of this. What S on HTTPS is secure, okay? It is insane to me in the modern age, especially in Japan, how many unsecured websites there are out there that ask you for a password or ask you for financial information it's insane. It's crazy. Why does that matter? Because if you don't have encryption on your connection, there's something called a man-in-the-middle attack. People can listen to the information that you send to and receive from some server, okay? And they can intercept your passwords, and then you get pwned in a place where it really matters, okay? You get your website pwned from us that's used on our site. That's not a super big deal. It's a big deal, but it's not a super big deal. But you get your password pwned. How many of you reuse passwords? Don't raise your hands, because I know it's every single one of you. So it's a big deal, and I believe in social responsibility. The other thing, and this is just a basic thing, basic feature of the website, we call it responsive design. I don't know how techy the people in this room are, so I don't want to go too deep into the technical jargoning aspects of things. But responsive design basically means that the website is usable, whether you're on your desktop, your iPad, or your mobile phone, okay? That's just a little sugar sweetener for you there. So now let's actually talk about taking the pain out of lesson planning. Now, when you go to the Maple Leaf Learning website and you log in, mapleleaflearning.com/library, okay? This is the screen that you're greeted with. Now, as you can see, my name is Marty. And real quick on the left side here, you'll see a variety of navigation links that are fairly self-evident, but because this is pretty small, we'll go over them one by one, okay? Topics by resource. That means that you can view, like you're teaching a lesson or you're doing a week or whatever on animals, okay? You can bring up a list of all of our stuff that has to do with animals, separated by the type of resource it is. So all the animal flashcards are here, all the animal activities are here, all the animal games are here, okay? Songs, music videos, all those things, they're organized by resource type inside of the topic. Makes things easy to find. Next thing, resources by topic. It's the same exact thing, just different. Now you say, okay, I need a worksheet. Then you go look at all of our worksheets. You want a worksheet on what? Oh, I'm doing a week on body parts. So I can look at all the worksheets that have anything to do with body parts or whatever, okay? You can see all of our song resources. You can't really see it here, but that would be our resource types. Or our products page, you can view entire albums. Now, when you go to a song resource page, actually, because Kenny here is an insane man. I've seen him late at night, mumbling to himself. On and under, clap, clap, clap. On and under, clap, clap, clap. He has made an incredible amount of content, and most of it works together quite nicely. I had the task of trying to associate resources with songs to make it easier for you to say, okay, I'm going to do this song, and look at this. I got a list of things that go together with this song or this general category. Whether that's flashcards, again, song flashcards are almost always going to be there. Or related flashcards, activities, games, crafts, whatever. Album resources, same thing. You get a list of the songs, you can preview the songs, you can quick jump to the song topic pages. We've got special pages for holiday category. So it's just, you know, I want to do Christmas stuff. So then you get to see all the worksheets, all the flashcards, all the everything that has to do with Christmas, Easter, St. Patrick's Day. And then the most important thing, in my opinion, everything else, it's a lot of work for me and it sucks and I hate it. When the only thing you really need is search, right? So luckily we've got full search for you also. It makes it extremely easy. You sit down at the computer, little bitty black, bug worksheet, bam, you got a list of all the bug worksheets ready to print off. When you click into a song page, as you can see here, you're going to see teachers' videos that teach you how to use the song in the classroom. You're going to get music videos for that go with the song. There might be some videos attached for the related resources. See here, we've got the Jelly Beans Sing and Play. We've got the Color of the Jelly Beans worksheet. Right, yeah, teacher videos. Sorry, I don't do presentations all that often. Music videos. Right, and most of the time, we also allow you, right on this page, to download the song, download the video, again, to use at your discretion. In accordance with the terms of our terms of service. Now, at the bottom of this page, which you can't see here, we also have a few suggested resources. Now, this is something that's going to change later, but very much for the better. And I'll tell you more about that a little bit later. When you click into an actual resource page, most of the time, we actually have a video made specifically for that resource to show you in no uncertain terms exactly how to build it, exactly how to use it in the classroom. Okay, so there doesn't need to be any ambiguity about it. But if you're like me and you like to jam, just click the download button, print it off, and figure it out.
That's good.
Here we go. All right, so now you might be thinking, Keesby, you're the tech dude. I find your presentation to be woefully lacking in Flash. And I agree with you. And that's because I believe certain things should be allowed to speak for themselves. So I'm going to show you the website in action. I'm on a computer. I got a screen. I got a room full of teachers. Okay.
Do you want a chair?
Yeah.
Right behind you.
Thank you. That's not funny. All right, so first things first, let's log in, okay? Let's see, I am Marty Moose. And my password is Keesby is the coolest. That's gonna bring us to our main page here. Now, do we have any actual subscribers to the website in here? Anyone ever used our website before? Okay, good, a few of you. Yeah, very nice. So you'll be familiar with all the things that I'm showing today. Sorry to bore you, but this is for the non-cool people. So let's consider an everyday scenario. Okay, as much structure as you want, you got a lot of time to fill as an educator, right? And sometimes you just need a worksheet. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. Sometimes you just need something. Okay, so let's consider the everyday scenario where we need a worksheet. Okay, I come to mapleleaflearning.com, I go to resource types, and I go to worksheets. Oh, that was pretty easy. What kind of worksheet do I want? Do I want something that has to do with actions, animals and insects, Christmas, food and drink, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, whatever, okay? I'm doing a week on bugs. Right, I'm using the bugs song. I'm teaching bugs vocabulary. I want to do some kind of worksheet that has to do with bugs. Okay, animals and insects. Let's see. Do we see any bugs down here? You get nice, beautiful previews of all the things. I see a couple of bug things. Draw the snail. Now, if you're like me and you're really dumb, you can watch the video about how to draw the snail. But if you're a cool guy, you can just click this free download button and it pulls up ready to print, ready to be used, okay? One of the other nice things about almost all of the resources on the Maple Leaf Learning Library is just all paper, right? It's just, you print it off on A4 paper. You got a printer at school? Who's got a printer at school? That's way fewer hands. It's almost all of you, and it's still fewer hands than there should be in the crowd. That's crazy. Get a printer. But everything, almost everything is in the library, including like teacher tools, like our read cards or our ABC cards or whatever. You can just they're designed specifically to be printed out on A4 paper. So we got our draw the snail worksheet. Okay, so now let's consider the alternate but related scenario where we want an activity. What should we do? Oh, let's go to the resource types and let's browse the activities and crafts. Am I going too fast for anyone? Okay. let's find, let's see, we're still on our insects week. Let's go to animals and insects. And let's look at all of our activities and crafts that have something to do with, oh, sorry, the internet's being a little bit slow here. There we go. And now let's look at all of our activities and crafts. So, okay, this looks kind of cool. Snail puppet craft. Let's look at that. Now this one's a little bit more involved than a worksheet. So let's see how this is supposed to work. Oh yeah, am I going through this? Maybe. Turn it up as high as we go. I can't control the volume through HDMI.
The paper. And you also need a little paper bag just like this, okay? That's what you need to make for white ones the best. Anyways, let's color his mouth red. Yeah. Yeah.
I swear to God, I've seen this man asleep on his couch, talking like Marty Moose. It's the craziest thing. Hey, Kenny, are you peeing? No, it's pretty good. Yeah. Kenny, I think they're peeing.
And Michelle, I'm gonna make him brown. But please color Michelle any color you want, okay?
All right, you get the idea. You skip forward a bit, you cut out the things, then he shows you how to actually put it on the paper bag. Right? Look at all this time we got left. Then we give you a little snail song if you want to look at that, and some other related stuff. You'll notice here also we have a link straight to the song that it accompanies, right? You can click through on that link, and that's going to bring you to resources that are also related to the snail song. So you can see front and center is going to show you how to use the song in the classroom. Now, I'm bringing up this specifically. You might think I'm freestyling right now, but I'm really not, because one, the snail song is great because it uses the kids' hands, right? It's something that I think it's memorable. It's sung by someone who can actually sing. Right? Listen to this. Audio is kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But my point is, right here, right up top, it tells you how to use the song in the classroom. You've got the music video, videos for related resources that you can look at. You've got links for premium subscribers to download the song, download the video to take with you if you need to. And then we've got, see the snail song flashcards right there. If you need flashcards for the song itself, we've got related song flashcards, butterfly song flashcards. We've got related activities and crafts ready for you to go. So like we go to the song flashcards here. And you see it's all related. It's all, what's the word I'm looking for? It's coherent, right? It's pretty brain dead. You come down here, you see this is made for our sing and play purple line. So if you need a little bit more structure than being strictly freestyle, we've got a link to the album. And again, you have full access to it as a premium subscriber. We've got a link to the craft book, all individual pages from the craft book, but also the craft book itself compiled into one place, okay, for you to test out or for you to use in emergencies or use how you see fit. We trust you. And make yourself untrustable, we'll bring down the long arm of the law. You click into the book again, right? Any companion audio that might accompany the book, like our higher level books, for example, would be here for you to download as well. Get back down here to the album. You can see it's got a list of all of the songs on the album, and most of them have links. Only the ones that are like repetition songs or like alternate vocabulary or karaoke versions. You get them when you download the album, but we don't bother duplicating the pages for you to look at. But yeah, you can look at, preview the song, make sure it's something you want. That's a good line, or again, if you want one by someone who can actually sing.
Isn't it HALLO?
Um, and let's say that you, again, I think I showed you, you know, finding, I need an activity, I need a worksheet. But if you want a more easy way to build out your lesson plan for the day, maybe you want to have an easy day of lesson planning. That's what the topics pages are for. So you go to the topics, you go to animals and insects, and then bam, you've got, well, not bam, again, the network's kind of slow, but
Let's be very kind.
yeah, you see, well, I got till, no,
No.
45.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't get to start on time. Sorry.
1 minute, 1 minute.
I mean, I'm almost done.
I know.
We've got, as you see, the flashcards, worksheets, activities, games, song list, music video. It really couldn't be any easier for you. If you really need to throw something together fast, 5 minutes is all it takes to have a complete lesson. And in particular, the activities and crafts, right? These are those things which give you that opportunity, again, to teach, you're teaching fine motor skills. You're using everyday English that is required basically to get the job done in the first place. My personal favorite category of things are the sing and plays. Now, these are crafts that you then use over and over, potentially, with a specific song. So let's look for some sing and play by using our handy dandy search feature. And there you go, 473 results for sing and play alone, okay? Now, the most relevant stuff is gonna be more towards the top. But that's too many. So we're still on bugs, right? So let's look for a bug sing and play. And bada bing, bada boom, right there. 3 ladybugs sing and play. It's perfect. You go to the page, you got a video right here, shows you exactly how to use it, in the classroom. And then you got all the same links here. You got the teacher set for you to laminate and use over and over again. And all the other stuff that I just showed you, it's all cyclical. Okay, so it all ties right back into itself. So I think you get the idea. Now, let's talk about the future. First and foremost, we're always adding more stuff to the website, okay? So, you know, on a weekly, sometimes daily basis, all of this time that we've spent with the website in its current form, it's basically been putting the content there, waiting for when the time is right to do the website the truly correct way. As good as it is right now, it's only going to get better. We're going to add teacher's guides for everything. Again, for people who need a little bit more structure, all of our books are going to have teacher's guides that go with them. We're going to be working constantly on giving more guides for how to use resources, how to put them together, things like that. Even better search. Okay, I don't want to get into the specifics of how this is possible, but just trust me, okay? World-class encryption, again, talking about social responsibility. Again, I don't want to get into the specifics of how this is done, but you don't need to be afraid of getting pwned at mapleleaflearning.com. Now, if you get pwned somewhere else, that's on you, but you're going to be okay on our site. Better UX, we have done a lot of research about how to make what you've seen here today even better, even more brain dead, stupid, simple, okay? And again, I have to do the customer support, so I know, no, I'm not talking about you, because I don't know you. But a lot of you are really dumb. So we've made it even more dumb proof, okay? And then the whole thing now is powered by technology that I've developed. I call it the suggestion engine, and it's going to make lesson planning specifically, finding resources that tie in at a more oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? At a more effective level, are going to be right at your fingertips. Okay, you're going to have to see it in action, and then I can't show it to you today, but very soon you'll see that as cool as it is to see all of the good stuff side by side. The suggestion engine is going to make daily lesson planning a complete and total breeze. We're going to get new features, obviously. Everything has been rewritten by yours truly from the ground up. First feature, you're going to get to save your favorites to your own personal profile. Okay, that one comes for free. So when you're browsing through, like, I don't need that today, but I want it for later. Bam, put a heart on it, and you can quick find it in your profile later. But who's to say what the future of the website holds? Well, but with your input and suggestions. So if you have any ideas, hit me up. You're probably wrong, but it's and that's it. That's all I have to talk about. All right.
Hi everybody. I forgot I got my notes. It's been a while since I've done public speaking. Ganbarimasu. My name is Jeff, or Jeffu, if you will. I've been living and teaching in Japan for 24 years now, 20 at my own school in Takazuka, as Eric said. During those 20 years, we made and developed a lot of stuff, as you will, as you know, as teachers, you make stuff. A bunch of years ago, we decided to share that stuff. And we launched, me and my wife, the Easy Fun Learning Company was born. We made our debut at the Expo in 2000, the Tokyo Expo in 2018 with Tornado 8s and Splat, which is absolutely missing.
Great game.
Yeah, I've sold out of them and I didn't keep a copy for myself.
Pay attention.
So the first year we had Tornado 8s and Splat, which we're really excited about. The next year we added our Get 5 sushi game and Get 5 jobs game. And the year after that, we made this game, which is rocking the Casbah everywhere, Food Fight. Woo! So we were born in 2018 and we died in 2020 when Corona came around. We kind of went missing. That kind of took the wind out of our sails. We were about to do our Splat remake in our Tornado. Tornado has since sold out, but we're doing a relaunch. We're hoping 2024 is going to be a good year. And we're going to relaunch this year as things go on. Okay, let's, don't go to our website. Right now, you can't really find us. I'll give you a find us later. Our website is a terrible, nasty, awful thing. We're about to pull it and revamp it and redesign it, and don't go there. What are we gonna do first? Why don't we go with the stuff I got? Let's go with Food Fight. Oh, wait a minute. I'd like to show you Splat. In that 3-year hiatus, we since I upped my graphic design skills and we've redesigned everything and made it, you know, version 2.0 is lovelier, prettier. And my old Splat, which I love. Does anyone have my old Splat game? Oh, couple. Sorry about that. Version 2.0 is so beautiful. It's wonderful. Maybe I'll give you a discount. You can send the old ones back in and I'll give you a rebate on the new ones because I really upped the game on this one. Who wants to play? Does this show?
Yeah,
Does this show the table?
just lay it out. No.
All right, let me tell you what it is. It's a game called Splat. Hang on a second, everybody. It's colors, adjectives, and colors and adjectives, and Splat. I'll show you how it works. Can you see this on it?
Yeah, I can see. It's good.
Oh, look at that. It's a little hard to see. All right, so I'll put it up so you guys can see it. So it's colors, numbers, adjectives. So you flip it over. Something yucky that's orange. Person M, yes, I don't think those either, right? You get the card, all right? The fastest kid get it. Say something fits the card, all right? So you flip it over. Something pink that starts with S. Pink socks. I play with my kids. I play Japan versus Canada all the time. All right, so you flip it over. It's the back of the card you flip, and the top card here. Something red that starts with N.
Show the camera. Canadian notes.
Creativity, what do you got, man? All right, something pink that's soft. My pillow. Hang on, I'll show you guys. Ready? Something green that starts with B. Right. Something brown that starts with P. That's what And it's funny that we mention that because the kids, when the brown cards comes up, it's always whose poo is it gonna be, right? Flip a Wayuki's poo. Yeah, keep going. And we've got adjectives in here as well. Now just a minute, let me find our adjectives. And we've got some slats. We didn't mix them so well. All the slats are in. All right, they're ready. Something light and pink. A balloon, you got it. Now, the game's called Splat. If a splat comes up, these are all splats, anything red. Right, you're not restricted to a letter, you say anything red. Strawberry, apple, cherries, that speaker, yeah. All right, it's just stupid fun. I play with my grade ones all the way up to like all of them love it. With the younger kids, it's slower. You know, it's kind of a thinking game. I don't make it such a competition game. I get some thinking in phonics and letters and something gold that starts with G. Gold. We've got adjectives, something small, long, and I put the little cheat on here, right? I've got some footy gana, katakana, whatever gana on the bottom, right? The kids aren't allowed to say that though. If you say it, I get the card. Because I had them as adjectives first, and you have to explain all the adjectives to the little kids. Something long and blue, and they're like, what does long mean? So now the EV is on the bottom, and it's easier to play for the kids. That's the revamped Splat. Stupid, silly, easy, fun. I play it, you know, you got 5 minutes left to kill the class, you burn through your lesson, pull out Splat. I play kids versus me. They love it. That's Splat, version 2.0, coming this year. Okay. Food fight? Anybody got it?
Love it.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. It's based off the game Spot It. You know that?
Yeah.
I've made the best version of Spot It. I think. Who wants to play? This one we need a few beats. We'll go 1, 2, 3.
I have it. So somebody else wants it.
Oh, okay.
I have.
Look at some chairs. All right. One more chair. And somebody grab that black chair, move it over here for me. One chair. Okay, there's a number of ways you can play. There's the family way to play, or the older kids way to play. I'm going to show you how I use it as a teaching tool in my class. Now, all the foods are on the back of the instructions. There's a little, whatchamacallit, food list on the back of the instructions. Now, Japanese kids don't know all the food, and even you guys might not know all the foods. So my kids call it the this one game. So when we flip it over, they say this one. Right? It makes it easier, and then I tell them what the word is. They have to repeat it. So that's how I do it. So let's play. All right. So give everybody a card. One. You guys can't. You'll have to watch the video later.
There's plates with food on it, on the table. Each player has their own food plate.
Here, give me two.
And then
I'll
you
walk
can
around.
put-
Yeah, and they have to find whatever's matching the.
Yeah, so you gotta find the one, there's always a match on every card. So you have to find the one and only one matching food with your card and the card I throw into the middle. Okay?
And my kids always say 999. There's no such thing as
Yeah.
not every card has a matching one. on it.
So funny, and you gotta slow it down sometimes, show everybody where they're food. Yeah, look, that's what's great. Okay. So the way I play with the students is I throw the card into the middle. I'll show you the other way to play it after. So you keep them kind of close, everybody getting close. Don't let the kids pick the cards up. Okay, they're always grinding them and smashing them, and cards have to be flat. All right, you ready? Ready, set. Food fight! Food fight! Find the one and all. Let's go slow. Yeah. This one. All right, you got line, paprika. Yeah. All right. So you got to point to your card. This one. We'll just play Japanese style. Just say this one. All right. Go.
A waffle.
Hamburger. So, hamburger. All right. And then I ask them, do you like hamburger? No, I don't. All right. Your plans are ready. Set. So it's do you like, or I play I like, I don't like. Well, I'll show you. Go for it. Go.
This one.
This one, all right. What is it?
Lettuce.
Lettuce, you got it. Do you like lettuce?
Yes, very much.
All right. Ready, set, go. This one, yeah, Hamburg. Do you like hamburg?
We do. This one.
Oh, you got it. What is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Right. Passion fruit. And you can ask, you know, you can do any close question. Have you ever tried passion fruit?
Yes.
Yes, I have. Right.
It's good juice. Good. Drink.
Ready, set, go. This one, cheese toast. Do you like cheese toast?
Yes, I do.
Now I play another. I play a few rounds like that, and then I play 3 rounds of what do you think matches? Okay, so you put the card face down, and you have to go around. I think it's bacon. Mango, we do know the mangosteen. Good job. Nobody knows the mangosteen. Avocado. All right, tomato. We flip it over. Anybody? Nobody. So you put one more down, so you get 2 cards if you win. All right, I think it's strawberry.
Anybody wants to come up with
Egg. All right. Yeah, it's kind of hard. We can play some games at the table there. Egg. What do you think, big guy? So they get the pile of cards, yeah? It's good cards. Okay. All right, you ready? So I usually play about 3 rounds like this and then go back to normal play. I think it's bacon, egg, paprika, pizza, bacon. And if 2 kids die, just jump in. Keep jumping. Do you like bacon?
Yes, I do.
Ready, set, go. Guava. Go. Egg. Do you like eggs? Do you like scrambled eggs? Do you like eggs and toast?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I do.
Ready, set, go.
This one.
Yes, it's a Tamarillo. There's a couple wonky ones on there. Kenny loves the Tamarillo, right, Kenny?
Tamarilla.
I hate that one.
You know what it is? What is a Tamarillo?
Here, we're educators. What I do is I tell the kids, you tell me, go home, get on your computer, get on your smartphone, come back and tell me what a Tamarillo is and where it's from.
New Zealand tomato.
They love it in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. All right, so that's the regular play, and then you count the cards after and 2, 1, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a different way to play. Okay, so that is, and Nam, if you're watching, thank you, Nam. My friend Nam taught me this, taught me the way he plays, and it's fantastic. Okay, this is for normal, non-educational, how you can play it with older kids as well. So we put them like this, we go get 1. You put the pile face up in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to flip the card, and you have it. You just, when you match the card, you take the top. All right, you just do this. Hang on, let's just play. Can't explain it, so no. Sausage. Sausage. Oh, when you play it like that. What matches? Find your match. Egg. You got it.
Yeah.
There's always one. No, it's not. It's this one. Yeah. Chicken. Watermelon. Do you like watermelon? Right. Okay, all right. Passion. Papaya. Thanks. Forgive me.
Wow. One, two, three.
You can see it.
This one.
This one. Now, do you say red cabbage or purple cabbage?
Purple cabbage.
Purple cabbage. Yeah, I know, it looks purple, so I call it purple. Either or is fine. It is purple.
What's the name of this game there? This is Tornado or
Food Fight.
Food Fight?
Sorry. Oh, sorry, you're supposed to. Used to play with the kids at Canada Garden. Candy.
Strawberry.
Oh. Mango seed.
Oh, you got it.
All right, so you get down to the bottom. This one's called the tower. Okay, so let's say we played it down to the bottom, the tower, tower, tower. Now, there's always some kid who sucks at it, right? Has a few cards. Let's say a few. All right. This was safe to say. All right, so we got our cards like this. So we'll take a card from the big pile and we go. Now you've got, this is called the well. So you're putting the cards into the well. All right, so you flip the first card over and then go. Chicken. So you're putting them in the middle. And the first one to get out. So the advantage is the kid who got the least cards.
What?
Modest mouse. I don't know why. I made Siri turn. Oh.
Always listening. Wazowski.
Cheese toast. Yeah, throw it in the red guy. Yeah.
Chocolate.
Lollipop. Pancakes. Whoa, nice one. Not cookie. Banana, we did a good job. Great, one more. I don't know. But anyway, there's the tower, the well, the teacher version, just slap the card in the middle. Works a treat. Sorry, we did it short. All right. Time check. How much time am I? How much time has elapsed?
Where we at? Okay, help me out. So this would be 3 to 3. We got about another 7-8 minutes.
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe a little more if you want, but try to keep it around there.
Tornado. Should we explain tornado? We're at a tornado. Maybe I'll coming soon. Tornado. Great game. Topics. It's like Crazy Eights with the special tornado. All right, but I'm sold out at the moment, so I won't explain it. But we got a whole bunch coming out. We got Tornado 1, Tornado 2,
Really?
Tornado Halloween, Tornado Prepositions. Show you. Okay, yeah, we got a whole bunch, and my graphic design skills are superb now, and it's so beautiful. Version 2.0. And this one is super popular. It's called Get 5. I need one person to come and play with me.
Come on, guys.
Don't everybody rush up. All right, and play.
I like this game actually. It's been so good.
All right. All right, so it's called Get 5. The object of the game is Get 5. This one's a bilingual sushi game. And we got more of these. We got sushi. We've got jobs. We've got Christmas, Halloween. We've got vegetables. We've got a whole bunch of them coming out as well. So this one, the object of the game is get 5 cards from your opponent before they get 5 from you. So it's stupid simple. So the kids at the beginning, they pick the sushi they want in the front. Okay, got it. Okay. Just when you jump in for start, rocks need to hit on. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Now you can use any closed question, right? Do you like? Have you tried? I play one that's funny. One that the kids like called sold out. So I would say, can I have? If you don't have it, it's already sold out. So let's do the sold out version. Can I have some tuna, please?
Sorry, sold out.
You put a black chip on there.
Can I have some salmon roe?
Salmon roe, sorry, sold out. Can I have some eel?
Sorry, sold out. Can I have some octopus?
Sorry, sold out. Can I have some cucumber?
Sorry, sold out. Can I have some yellowtail?
Sorry, Eric ate all the yellowtail. Can I have some octopus?
Sorry, sold out.
Can I have some squid?
Sorry, no squid. Can I have some yummy sea urchin?
Sorry, sold out. Can I have some salmon?
Salmon, sorry, no salmon. Can I have some egg sushi, please?
Sorry, sold out. Can I have some sea bream?
Sorry, no sea bream. Can I have some squid?
Sold out.
No.
Sold out of a lot of things.
Yeah. It's the end of the night at the sushi shop.
Scallop?
Scallop, sorry, sold out. Can I have some sea bream?
We're all out.
We're all out.
Can I have some shrimp?
Shrimp! Ah! Speeding up a little bit due to time. Shrimp. So you got the shrimp, you get the card. Now the team that gets the card takes all their chips off. And then you put a red chip on it, on the shrimp that you just got, so you don't have to ask it again.
Yeah.
Right? And I get to keep going from here. Now, you got it now, the kids pick another. Okay. Now, you get to go again.
Okay.
Because you got a card, so you get a lucky chance. I call it a lucky chance.
Can I?
You guys can come up if you want to see this.
Eggs.
Egg, sorry, sold out. Now I get to keep going. Can I have some salmon, please?
Sorry, sold out. Can I have some crab?
Crab, sorry, no crab.
What's with you? Sure.
Okay, you get that.
Roll out.
What's good about this? The kids they don't know all the sushis yet, so
Yeah.
they can go, can I have some hamachi? And I say yellowtail, and they go yellowtail. Can I have some yellowtail?
Yeah.
I made it just in English, and it was just a nightmare because you've got to tell them every single time what it is. So this makes the game go faster, and they learn the words faster.
Can I have some eel?
Sorry. Can I have some scallop?
Roll out.
Black chips.
Can I have some sea urchin?
Sorry, no sea urchin. Oh, can I have some salmon roe?
No! Last again.
Yeah, the two.
A two. Okay. Can I have some cucumber?
Cucumber, sorry, no cucumber. This is great when it's 50-50 too. To each other. Can I have some shrimp?
Sold out. Can I have some squid?
No, sorry, no squid. Can I have some crab, please? No. To the side, I clear my chips. And then
I'm the game creator. You always lose your own games. It's just natural. I always lose my games.
Can I have some tuna?
Sorry, no tuna. Can I have some scallop?
Sorry, we're all out.
All right.
Can I have some octopus?
Oh, you got it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
No, you gave me the answer.
So you clear your black chips.
Yeah.
The team that gets the card clears their black chips. Put the red on. You keep going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
At some point.
Get 5.
That's cool.
And with the cards, you can play. At the beginning, if you want to teach sushi, you can play concentration, Kim's game. I call it Shinkei Suijaku in Japanese, right? You can learn the sushi that way, and then.
What other patterns do you use with the game? Like, can I have some of the?
Sure.
What about there's
some? Have you ever tried? Have you ever eaten?
That's actually a really good one to have you ever.
Yeah.
It's a great pattern for even young kids because they get it.
Yeah. So any kind of closed question you can think of, yeah. Do you want? Do you want? Yeah. Do you want? No, I don't. Right. Closed question. We got a bunch of these coming out as.
Good. You probably turn it back and forth, like, what would you like? I'd like some, whatever, like turn it into more of a conversation even, right? Where you're expanding more. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
the games are they're long, so we made them in 2 pieces so you could fold them and take them to schools.
So the game comes like the card.
It comes with it's all laminated, it comes with the hands, the chips, and
The hands are super cool.
Yeah, they love it. Yeah, we just got them they're crackly packaged in a plastic bag, and we get the instructions in there, and the chips in the hands. We'll be selling them at the expos coming up, if you guys know the expos. Yeah, well, so we'll be at the expos with more. We've got some other stuff that I didn't bring as well. We got some Kinder games that they're like wholesale games. I didn't make them, that are really cute for Kinders. With that, Kato!
Thank you, everybody, for waiting till the end. Actually, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about presenting last, but actually, I kind of like it because I can kind of bring everyone's topics or kind of themes together. So that's key, I guess, in a way. And today, all the presenters were amazing. What's kind of cool about this is that everyone has really inspiring things because it's something that they created, so it's from their heart, and they're using it. And I feel like there was some kind of themes that were the same throughout everyone's presentations, which I'm going to try to bring together right now, if I can, if I don't forget or get nervous or something. I don't know. Anyways, today also, the title of my presentation is Getting Your Students Using English. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And I wanted to talk more also about writing, but it didn't really work out. So I'll share more about that in the future. Today is mostly about speaking, a little bit of writing. I have these textbooks that you guys can check out over there called Hello You, this series I'm kind of pushing right now. And yeah, here you go. So first I want to ask you a question you don't have to answer out loud, just kind of think about it. And that is, what percentage of your lessons are your students using English on your own? Or on their own, sorry, not you, on their own. So for me, honestly, I don't really know. But I don't, I'm not like a stats person, but I do have a goal that kind of set for myself that I want my students to be using English on their own in the lesson for 50% of the class. So if your class is an hour, I want them to be speaking for 30 minutes, I hope, on their own. And them speaking isn't necessarily me talking and them repeating. I really want them to try to do things on their own. It doesn't mean it always has to be original, like they're just having a straight up conversation. I don't think that's realistic, but I want to kind of show you guys what I do in my lessons and how I can kind of get that to happen. It doesn't mean it happens every time. Hopefully sometimes it happens more than 50%, but that's kind of the goal. So if you've seen me present recently, I've kind of been sharing this acronym that I made, which is the recipe to grow. So how our students can improve their English and hopefully become more fluent. And that is G, guided practice, R, repetition, O, opportunity, and W, willpower. And so it's kind of like Kid Phits and Adam too. Everyone kind of, I think this was kind of a little bit of a theme. We need structure, but we also need to jam, right? Like, yeah, and we want authentic. We want authentic language as well, kind of like Adam shared. So, but I think all of these ingredients to this recipe are equally as important. So I have presented recently a lot on project-based lessons because it's a way to give your students opportunities to create authentic language. But today I'm going to kind of share more about the guided practice and the repetition because I think they're equally as important. And kind of also I'm going to show you how you go from guided practice and repetition to step out of your comfort zone a little bit, like Adam said, and give your students opportunities. And when you do these things, willpower. So, how can we increase the original language that's produced in a classroom? Or how can we get our students? I changed the cards, so I think it's better. One, we need to improve basic skills. So this is kind of the guided practice thing, but the idea is our students need a toolbox where they can pull the language from when we want them to talk on their own. So with younger kids, that's why we kind of start off with basic things like, do you like? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Because when we ask that question, it's a common question in real life. So I think it's a normal talking point. And we want them to be really good at that and confident enough with it that when they're just kind of freestyling or jamming, they can pull that from their toolbox and use it anytime. So next is keep it relevant. And the way that we keep English or our lessons relevant was shared in a lot of different ways today. So it should be age appropriate. So I think like the storybook lessons are really relevant because students can empathize with the characters in the story. And like the play-based learning is really good for younger kids. Also, in the story-based lessons, the students are kids. So they love stories. So that's very relevant. So yeah. And also keeping it relevant is just talking about things that kids are interested in, things that they like, teaching them about things that are age appropriate that will spark interest into more things. Next is encourage creativity. So I think that Eric's really good at this in his books, because he's really good at being silly. And I think when kids are being silly, or as they grow older and they're creative in other ways, this is when natural language happens. And this is when they learn how to play with the language, use it in different ways, and create something original. So letting the kids and giving them lots of different contexts to be creative is really important. And finally, we want to let our students take the lead. So I kind of think like this is guided practice. We need to help our students give them interesting lessons, encourage their creativity. And then finally, our goal is to give them opportunity for authentic output, which is what I think Adam is trying to do, which is what Tim's game is really good at, authentic output, because the students, it's simple, basic, but then they just start having authentic conversations. Like, Tiger is slow, and are you crazy or something? And then the kids start saying stuff, and that's authentic output. That's just straight up English, and they're having a conversation. So that's kind of the goal of letting our students take the lead. And I'm going to show you guys how we do it at once. So first is improve basic skills. One way that we do this at my school is to get my students speaking a lot and get to that 50% chatting or talking goal, to reach my goal, is when the students first come into my school, they turn in their homework. And while the teacher is grading me, while I'm checking whether I have homework, we're not a big school, but while we're marking the homework or checking it, we want our students to be doing something. Sometimes they'll be doing a phonics activity, but I really want to use this time for them to speak, having a conversation. So when the kids are really young, there's like a lot of kind of conversation cards like this. And this is a lot of guided practice center game. And they'll get in pairs. And they're going to ask each other, can you swim? Yes, I can. Can you swim? Yes, I can. It's very basic. It's not super authentic, but they're talking about themselves. And this is a real question. You would ask a kid sometimes, can you swim? That's not so. It's basic, but they need to do it again and again because they have to improve their basic skills in order to use them later. So as the kids get older, then they're going to start asking each other questions about what they did on the weekend or things like this, right? This is basic. I think we all do this. But one way that I'll show you in a minute that we can get all our students talking at the same time and not a lot of wait time and not super student or teacher centered is that the kids are all doing it at the same time and the teacher's just checking the homework. And if you hear something strange, you can fix it or correct it, but you're kind of just monitoring that. Another thing that we have our students do is they do like remember speeches or something like that, or if they're doing a project, they need to practice or whatever. So sometimes when they're in pairs, they're practicing for a project or a speech that they want to remember, things like that. But for the first 10 minutes of class, our students are talking together and we're marking. The way that I kind of take this and try to create more authentic language is after we finish this, then we do something that I call free talk. And then I'll just ask my students a lot of random questions about things that I know that they've studied or that they can figure out the meaning from context. And I try to keep things, for example, if they've just had marathons at school, I'll ask, did you have a school marathon? What day? What place did you get? Are you fast? Like this. And maybe they haven't studied all of that language, but they can figure it out and they're kind of just communicating. So that's kind of, eventually, we want them to lead the free talk. But for now, it's us. So here's kind of just like an example of that. Like Tim, I don't take videos because I'm always living in the moment. I almost never even take pictures. So not even just in my lessons, but just in my life. I'll go on vacation and come back with like 6 photos or something. So this last week I said, okay, we got to get like a video of this. So actually it worked out because the kids just came back from winter holiday. So they're asking their classmates what they did. I tried to show you a couple of different classes. It's pretty basic. It's nothing really special, but I'll kind of show you. There's two things that I want you to kind of realize. And one is that they're speaking in partners at the same time. They're talking. And then at the end of this one, the last clip, the students actually wanted to ask me about my work, right? Okay, great. So then they took turns and asked me different questions. And hopefully you can hear it, but at the very end, one girl, I shared what I did, and she said, me too. So that kind of shows you in a little snippet how natural conversation will slowly build. And it's also in this kind of conversation time, the kids are bonding, they're learning about each other, about me. They'll find out they both were at the shopping mall at the same time on the same day. Like lots of little things about each other that are same. Is it not? Hold on. Maybe we have to get. Is it coming out here? Should this turn off? Yeah. Turned off. So do I need to re-put the Bluetooth again? Let's get there.
It's your
Like,
desktop.
yeah, it's really.
Your desktop.
This is for my desktop things. It's on? Okay. No, it's fine. Where's it? Nobody can hear me. I go. Thank you.
I play the video game. I want to eat one good. Fuck you.
Okay, who's first? Okay, Luana.
Did you watch TV?
Winter holiday? Yes, I did. I guess I think I'm funny, but. Okay. I watched a Little Kohaku with Mona, and I watched drama, TV drama. Mona told me to watch that. Woman. It's dark. Okay. Okay. His next question. What did you okay, what did I eat for New Year's, Christmas? New Year's Day. I ate crab. New Year's, happy New Year. Crab and meat. Yakiniku, steak, barbecue. You too? Oh, nice. Okay, so it's not that exciting of a video. Sorry, you're like nervous for the video. Yeah, but so they're not using anything. We're just having a normal conversation, and that's kind of showing you slowly how they can take the lead. And actually, my students will, in the first videos, they were kind of looking at their book, but I always will eventually take the lead. And then you'll say, okay, ask your partners about their weekend. Ask your partners about last week. Ask your partners about food. And they'll have little conversations as they get older. And also when they're in partners, they'll speak a couple minutes and then the teacher will say switch, and then they'll go find new partners. So they're speaking a lot with their students. Okay. So that's kind of how we start the lesson, and then we'll do free talk and talk about different things. And then we'll kind of talk about whatever we're learning. And also, whenever we do any kind of speaking drill or activity, it's the same kind of idea. The students are always doing it in small groups or pairs so that they're always speaking as much as possible during the lesson. At first, it's much more guided, right? Very guided. They're following like a framework like this. And they've learned a lot of adjectives and to describe people and their hair and their body. And then they can choose if they want to say he has or she has or he is or she is. And then it'll go, she has long hair or she is cute or she has curly hair or whatever they want to say. This is very basic, but it's for like first, second grade. And then as they get older, they can do other things that are more interesting, like role play. And this is like a travel brochure, and they'll be like the travel agency and where do you want to go and why and what do you like and things like this. And then they'll get into other games, which this is like a version of Clue, and they can find out where the Crick went, which country, and what he bought, and where what he did, what he rode. All of this, they're kind of drill past tense. And so the students are always kind of playing different games or doing different activities and speaking. And this is still the kind of guided practice. And then the idea is to move forward. So I'm going to show you how we do that. The next is keep it relevant. So one way you can do that is in stories and things like that. Another thing is that everyone's favorite topic is themselves. So kids want to talk about themselves. They want to share about who they are, where they're from, things they're interested in, and things like that. So we have a lot of different opportunities for this, but every time we teach anything, they're not talking about, per se, the character in the book. They're talking about them. If we want them to talk in third person, they're talking about their best friend, their teacher, their family, their dog, whatever. But they usually can choose. But we want them to talk about who they are, where they're from. This is how you build relationships in the classroom. And this is how they're going to be able to kind of internalize the language. Because they have to think, oh, does my mom like that? Or who washes the dishes in your house? My mom washes the dishes. My mom cooks. My mom does the laundry. Oh! Maybe not all families are like that. But anyways, yeah. So we want them to talk about themselves and who they are, where they're from. We want them to be proud of where they're from. One kind of just like example of how we will make everything relevant in a unit. For example, they'll learn family members' names, and then obviously, I think probably everyone does it, they'll draw their family and share it with the kids in each class, right? So they'll ask, this will be the beginning conversation or a guided practice activity. Who is he? Who is she? What's his name? What's her name? Things like that. Then they'll learn adjectives to describe their family members. They'll kind of play that game I showed you before. And then they'll maybe describe their own family members or themselves. And then they'll have a game. They can choose one person who they want to talk about. For example, their mom, their best friends, anyone, their favorite singer. And then they'll have to play the game. So if they land on strong, they would say he is strong or he isn't strong and things like this. So it's just kind of it's drilling the grammar because guided practice is an important ingredient for fluency. But it's talking about themselves. They're thinking about their own lives, their own ideas, and applying that. Then they'll read about this girl's family, and then they'll write a book about their own family and share it with the class. So it's kind of slowly leading in to them presenting about who they are, and it's building off of each other. And so that's kind of one way that they can keep it relevant. Another way that we can keep it relevant is we want to open our students' minds to the world. Delve deeper into other things that they're interested in, help them learn something new. So that's when you do people do CLIL or Adam's staff does a lot of teaching them new ideas and things to think about. But I really like to open my students' worldviews because I think that's one reason that we're learning English or they're learning English is because it's a big world. English is kind of the common language. So if I'm teaching them he is from, she is from, I also kind of put food and then we'll say he likes bibimbap or she likes bibimbap and he likes tacos and things like that. And then this also always kind of leads into free talk. Do you like bibimbap? Why? Or why not? And do you want to try bibimbap or tacos or whatever? And if they don't know what it is, you can look it up together and they're learning new things and you're having conversation. Another thing is they can talk about sports and then they can learn about different sports around the world and how everyone in Canada likes.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
No.
So this is just kind of simple examples. And then one more quick how we make this relevant and how we kind of the flow of the lesson is when we teach this is or what's this. It's like the infamous this is a pen, right? But really you teach this is to maybe tell someone something that they didn't know what it was. And at first we had our students talking about Japanese things. So they would ask, what's this? It's a dharma. My students were like, why am I telling her that this is a dharma? That she knows. So then we added this page with things from Mexico so that they kind of felt it, got it. Oh, I don't know what some of these things are. So maybe they wouldn't know some of those things are. And it just kind of makes it relevant. It makes it that's why we're asking what's this or what's that. Because maybe sometimes you don't know what something is. What's this? It's a pencil. That's kind of everyone knows that it's a pencil. You would never really ask that. I don't know. So that's kind of an example of that, or what are these? These are, and then this is more like projects. They'll choose a country they want to learn about. They'll find different things from that country, make a poster or a presentation, and share that with the class. So this is food, it's a food, these are colorful boats, things like that. So that's also, This would be kind of a project. So they would have done lots of drilling and guided practice and lots of conversation about different things. And then we'll read this. This is in the book. We'll look at it. And then it's like, what country are you interested in? And we have iPads at my school so they can look it up at the school and find different things. And sometimes part of the project turns into homework. Yes, sometimes it's part of it. Yeah. Next is we want to encourage creativity. I really like this. It actually was, if you want creative workers, give them time to play. If you want creative students, you need to give them time to play. So we want to allow them to play with the language. We use it to be silly, like Eric's books always do. Yeah, so we want to give our students opportunities to write their own stories, draw, design, and share things. Some students are really creative and really artistic. So giving different kind of learners these kind of experiences. And this is when they actually have the opportunity to just kind of use the language more naturally. So they design their own dream house, and then that they'll draw it at home. We don't really draw on top of it. And then they'll share that with the class. They'll ask questions about their dream house, and it's like more natural language. So they're talking about something they created, not just something that's in the book. When they do food, they all make their own menus, and it's way more fun to do role play games or speaking activities when it's about the foods that they created. Because sometimes kids make really delicious things, and sometimes kids make really gross things. So it just makes the class more fun, and it's what they created, so it's way more fun to talk about than if it's just the menu I made. So it's letting them put things together, kind of showing them, modeling. Corn and soup would be corn soup, and then what kind of things can you put together to make a menu? And things like that. So these are just kind of different ways we can encourage our students to be creative. Kind of another how I do it. If they learn body parts, they would do that. Talk about different body parts and about themselves. I have black hair, or I have green eyes, or whatever. And then we'll do kind of games. I took this week with my little kids, but older this age will also do this. They'll make kind of funny monsters, and it's like a quick game. Make a monster, explain it. It has a long nose. It has 2 legs. It has purple hair. It has elephant ears, whatever. And then you keep doing it again. So they're being creative, having fun, laughing, giving you a lot of different language. And it's not, they don't have to say long nose. They can say elephant nose, long nose, big nose. It's up to them. It's a little bit less controlled. And next, they'll read. This is actually a carta game that's in the book. They'll read about different monsters, and then eventually they'll create their own monsters. And that will become part of the carta game. So it's giving them the opportunity to create something on their own, be creative, read about different kids' monsters, play the games with it, and kind of go from there. So this is like also a project for the younger kids. It's more guided, but yeah. One more kind of example is in this class, I took, actually this lesson was last Wednesday. We reviewed past or present progressive. And there's like a picture in the book. What is he doing? What is she doing? What are they doing? And this is me and one student doing that. What is she doing? Other kids are saying these as well. Yeah. Oh, sorry. He is taking that photo. What are they doing? Good, singing. Good. Okay, so. Okay, so yeah. So that's just simple guided practice, is not that special. After that, we want to make it more relative. So they're going to kind of draw their family members and what they think they're doing. And we'll kind of ask about that. So it's a lot of guided practice today. I'm showing you that. Then we'll read this poem, kind of, about winter. So winter is making a snowman, sledding with dad, ice skating in the park, decorating the tree, getting a present from Santa, making mochi, cooking with my mom, eating a big New Year's dinner. Winter is fun. So it's kind of using present progressive, but kind of in a more creative way, I guess. And this is a great opportunity for free talk. So when you make mochi, what toppings do you like? Things like this. So we're asking things that they have to kind of guess the meaning and have a conversation kind of in context. Did you get a present from Santa? What did you get? Things like this. Do you go sledding? Things like that. Then I'll ask them what's season they want to talk about. What season do you like? What do you do in that season? And kind of elicit different things. And this is them just completely pulling from their toolbox and using language. So this isn't exactly following any rubric. They're saying, oh, in summer I do this, in fall I do this. And then, wait, okay, go. They wrote their poem. And she finished early. Good.
Arrange candies.
Good.
Read on read.
Good.
Eat nuts. Corn is fun.
Yeah. So those are all her own ideas. She did it all on her own. And the only thing I helped her with is spelling. Trick or treating, and she had to ask how do you spell this. So otherwise it was completely original. So all the kids can do that, and they're kind of using the language, and it's helping her kind of internalize, the present progressive form as well, but in a completely different way. So yeah, that's kind of the main. That's how we do it, and then I actually didn't know how I was going to wrap it all up. But this actually today's Sunday, so yesterday morning, Saturday morning, and Friday afternoon, I taught my first graders, and they did not speak for 50% of the lesson. And I was like, I'm not being authentic. I'm lying to everybody. And I just felt like weird on my reflection on the way home. But then I was thinking about it, as you do. And they came in and they cut out their money. We would usually do that for homework. First time back from winter break. They were reviewing like numbers, like 17, 25, whatever. So now they all have their money and then they'll say, $17, and then they'll make it with their money and say, I have $17 or $22, and they'll make it into I have $22. It's kind of like a speed, just like kind of mathy game. So I was leading it. It wasn't student led, so I would have considered that 50%, but that's them having it. Then they did like kind of a buying the toys game, like up to review, and so kind of like Monopoly, but much more simplified. That's in the book, and I want the top, okay, give me the money, and then now that's bought, nobody else can buy it. Kind of a game. But we played it all together. So I was very much leading the game because it was the first time we've ever played it. So that was kind of like not them leading the class. But that's the whole idea. First, the teacher models how you want things to go. Then the students do guided practice doing it. Then the students. So this week, I was leading the class. But next week, they're going to lead the money. A different kid's going to be the teacher, call out numbers, and they'll take turns, and they'll make money, or they'll make money with partners. Then they'll play the game on their own, not with me leading the class. Then they'll ask questions about what toys they want or what toys they like. And now they're leading the class, not me. And so slowly, we want to let our students take the lead. And that's kind of the whole idea. And so there's lots of ways that we can do this by offering them different contexts to speak in and filling up their toolbox with lots of language and then giving them authentic opportunities to use that language, like in project-based lessons or in writing a poem or in just having a conversation, but eventually taking the book away. And once they have their toolboxes stacked, lots more free talk can happen easily in the classroom. You can talk about more things. It can be just authentic language that happens in the classroom. So that's kind of the idea. And then students start to create their own language, their own things, and make things on their own. So that's kind of the flow of how I encourage my students to start to create their own language, to have their own conversations, to present their own thoughts about themselves. And we do this through the guided practice, repetition, creating opportunities, and all of those things. If they have opportunities that are fun and engaging and interesting, and the language that you're practicing is relevant, those will all lead to willpower to make your students want to study or learn. And that's it. So, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have a little time to take a few
questions? If anyone's interested in asking Kane something?
Yes. Sorry, what level is what? Oh, so there's 5 levels right now. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The level 1 is like first grade-ish, and then kind of goes up from there.
She's asking what level does the present progressive occur at?
Oh, what level? We teach it a lot of recycling. So we first teach it in second book 2. So they learn animals, and then they say a lot of pictures of animals. So what's it doing? It's running, it's eating, it's playing. And then they'll talk about different people. And then in this one was, I think, book 4, this kind of recycling stuff. And then the bus, keep their toolbox fresh, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, so my book's over there. If you want to take a look. Other books have more project learning-based learning books and things like that. All the books kind of have guided practice, and then the reviews lead into projects. So,
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Katie. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Right, just a sec here.